Прийшли окупанти до нас в Україну, форма новенька, воєнні машини, та трохи поплавився їх інвентар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Російські танкісти сховались з кущі, щоб лаптем посьорбати довбані щі, та трохи у чах перегрівся навар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Приперли зі сходу до нас барани для восстановлення
великої страни.
Найкращий пастух баранячих отар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Їх доводи всяке озброєння різне, потужні ракети, машини залізні, у нас на всі доводи є коментар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Вони захопити хотіли нас зразу, а ми зачаїли на орків образу з російських бандитів, робить примар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Російська поліція справи заводить, там пивцю рашистів ніяк не знаходить, хто винен, що в нашому полі глухар. Байрактар, Байрактар. Веде пропаганду кремлівський урод, слова пропаганди ковтає народ, тепер нове слово знає цар.
Байрактар.
Байрактар. Байрактар.
Байрактар.
Байрактар.
Yes.
The Leaf Spring Army sends its regards.
О, бля! Игорь!
Здравствуйте, товарищи!
На марше бронеавтомобили «Тигр» и «Тайфун» с различными боевыми модулями дистанционного управления, которые позволяют решать служебно-боевые задачи в любых сложных условиях обстановки и местности. Проходит колонна боевых машин пехоты БМП-2М и БМП-3, оснащенная комплексом динамической защиты, позволяющей многократно повысить возможности по сохранению личного состава на поле боя.
Вот так от буває, коли приходиш на українську землю.
По Красной площади проходит колонна основных боевых танков Т-72 Б-3 первого гвардейского Чертковского танкового полка. Командует парадным расчетом капитан Ренат Рафиков. В небе пятерка вертолетов К-52 «Аллигатор».
ВВС России.
Пилотажная группа «Беркуты». На вертолетах Ми-28Н «Ночной охотник».
Гады, блядь.
Следующий строй представлен четверкой модернизированных фронтовых бомбардировщиков Су-24М. Ведущий группы подполковник Герман Анафов. Ура!
Русский военный корабль. Предлагаю сложить оружие и сдаться. Русский военный корабль, иди нахуй.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Enforcer, and I'm accompanied by Enforcer Matt.
And good evening, folks. It's Enforcer Matt, and welcome back to day 440 of the news. And it's good to see you all once again. And that was a hell of an intro.
And that was a hell of an intro, and for a hell of a day, as the Russian Victory Day parade was pulled off today, and the Ukrainians conducted a sweep on the battlefield of Bakhmut, wiping out the 72nd Brigade, wiping out half of the Wagner unit, and pushing Russian forces back an entire kilometer. It took them 3 months to make that ground, and the Ukrainians took it in a single day. It is unbelievable, and tonight is a night like no other. On the day of the Russian quote-unquote victory, the Ukrainians have conducted a complete sweep of the field. So real quick, we're going to be going into the news, some of the appetizers, I guess we could say, before we get to the massive news tonight in Bakhmut, but it is absolutely unbelievable. We've never seen something like this for a while, ever since the Kherson counteroffensive, and it's happening again. And so we're going to be moving into Moscow, where, of course, the Victory Day parade occurred just today. It appears, and real quick, let me make sure that we go to the Victory Day parade first. It appears that the Russians are out of tanks, because they only had the T-34 from Victory Day parades of long ago, and they only had one of them. So here's that part of the Victory Day parade. And here it comes. It's the only tank in the whole parade. So here it comes.
Man, they better safeguard this one closely.
And they better, because it's about to be going. And when you see the band moving back, so that way the armor column can come through if you want to call it armor. And there it is, the only tank in the Victory Day parade this year.
I like how they're focusing the camera on just this one vehicle.
Yeah, just the one. We didn't see
It's an antique.
It's the only tank in the parade. No T-90Ms, no T-72s, not even a T-62 or a T-55. That is it right there. The showcase of the entire parade, this one tank.
And where's the planes at? No, I don't see any planes or hear them anywhere.
There was no flyover. No flyover this year. Oh my god, what an embarrassment. And here comes the Tiger armored cars. Of course, they have these out of the kazoo. They got loads of them, so of course they have some to pull out for the parade. But not even a large amount of these. And as they drive by, that's all they really have. It's just armored cars. I believe these are the armored cars that the Chechens use a lot. I believe they are an Bakhmut armored car. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, stand by. We've got some bad lag right now. At least from what YouTube's telling me. Okay, it's gone. All right, so we're right back to it. And there goes the armored car segment. The only segment of the armored parade this year. We can now see some of the missile launchers passing by. Of course, we saw one of these ram straight into the guardrails of the highway near St. Petersburg a few days ago. Somehow, they managed to get it one BTR-82. Nice. And we can see the T-34 entered the field. That was... Stand by. It looks like we're still having some lag issues, and it looks like the lag is all over the place. But here was the end of their armored segment right here. A T'Pol-M nuclear launcher, intercontinental ballistic missile. Russian APCs. We have never seen these in action before, and there are only a handful of examples. And there's only 3 of them. And that's the end of the parade. After that, the band marches up, they play a little song, and they go marching off in both directions, kind of like every other parade. And that was it. That was the whole armored segment. It was 5 minutes long. No flyover. Pitiful. And also, Matthew, just checking to see if you're still there.
Yes, I'm still here, but you're lagging slightly. The Russians are pissed off, and they're apparently attacking.
I would guess so. And what other way can tonight go on Victory Day that we would be DDoSed? I wouldn't doubt it at all that we are being DDoSed because everything on our end is perfectly fine. Our internet connection has never been stronger, and the only way the Russians can try and win is to try and shut down people who say how badly they've lost. And so we're going to be moving on into our next bit of news in Moscow, where we got a little bit of a look at Lukashenko, and it appears that Lukashenko is a little sick. He may be a little unwell because it doesn't appear that he was able to walk at all today. We can see him, and right back there, y'all might not be able to see it, but there's Lukashenko being loaded onto a go-kart. Well, more of a golf cart. And you can see him right back there in the golf cart, and they're having to drive him away because apparently he wasn't able to walk down Red Square. So that's pretty interesting. And it appears that not only is Putin in bad health, it also appears that all of his cronies in Belarus are also in bad health. Speaking of bad health, it appears that the Wagner unit has been in increasingly worse shape and worse health as the wars continue to go on, as Prigozhin opened a new Wagner cemetery in Yekaterinburg, the first of its kind in the city. and the lag is unreal tonight. I keep on getting notifications from YouTube's control board saying the lag is through the roof. I want y'all to bear in mind, tonight it's not on our end. We're most likely being DDoSed right now by Russian bots or Russian supporters, as we are covering news that they don't really consider to be good to show. And so I ask that y'all do bear with us tonight and stay with us, and in fact tell other people to join in despite the Russian bots, and let them know that nothing is going to stop people from ever looking at the failures and the defeats of the Russian army in the field, at home, and everywhere around the world. And so with that, we're now going to be moving into this little clip where Prigozhin is back in Russia for a small time and opening up another military cemetery.
Мы на одном из кладбищ ЧВК «Вагнер». Это кладбище под Екатеринбургом. Здесь захоронены те, кто либо родился в Екатеринбурге, либо уходил отсюда на фронт.
We can now see him unveiling an obelisk in the center of the cemetery that commemorates all of the Wagner soldiers that have been slaughtered in the city of Bakhmut that have now been buried in
Мы
Yekaterinburg.
привыкли к памятникам Великой Отечественной войны, к братским могилам солдат. Сейчас мы должны понимать о том, что наша страна получила новых героев и новую ветвь нашей истории.
And we're going to be cutting the video short because we don't have a translation for it. But what better way to show that the Russians are winning than to open up another military cemetery on this very day, because all of the other cemeteries in the city can no longer hold the amount of Wagner dead, and so a Wagner-specific cemetery has to be made to house the incoming dead that are just from Yekaterinburg alone, and showing us how badly the Russians are losing on their supposed day of victory. We're now going to be moving on from that little clip and on towards the town of Kazan, where we got to see what a normal Russian military parade looked like today outside of Moscow and St. Petersburg. And by the way, we'll be getting to St. Petersburg in a minute, but here's a parade in Tatarstan, which is the oblast that Kazan is in. I wanted to show this to y'all because while this isn't the flagship parades of the Russian Federation, this is what you're seeing across all of Russia right now, are these kinds of parades, if they're even having one at all this year. And so here's what they were able to muster up for the quote-unquote victory parade in Kazan. So we have a truck covered in moss, and carrying a fake artillery piece made out of a pipe and some sheet metal. We can also see some kind of a fake railway car. We can see a farm implement with more foliage on it, and it appears that it may be another fake gun. It is another fake gun. Now, Scooby-Doo, or otherwise Freddy the Young Pioneer, and the gang of communists are driving through carrying a trailer of more communist sympathizers. We now see a UAZ 469 coming up with a DP-28 mounted onto the top.
This looks like a high school, like, homecoming parade or
I
something.
know, right? It does! And another fake artillery piece, this time trying to look like a older World War II piece. And of course, who can forget the Lada? Nobody can forget the Lada, which was the vehicle of victory for the Second World War. If it wasn't for the Russians and those damn Ladas, where in the world would they be now? Oh my God. And then it keeps on going. Just more crappy vehicles as a part of this crap procession. And once again, showing y'all what a normal Victory Day parade is looking like in Russia. Russia is so bad down the gutter at this point because of this war. They really can't manage to make anything look good anymore. And speaking of the parade in Moscow and how bad these parades were looking, the second largest Victory Day parade held in all of Russia is in St. Petersburg outside of Moscow. This is the second largest Victory Day parade in the entirety of the Russian Federation, and they only had one tank as well. And you can see that one tank right there.
Oh, jeez.
This one looks even worse than the one in Moscow. This one isn't even painted well. You can like see that it's kind of decrepit looking. I mean, it's a terrible sight right now in Russia. They've run out of so many armored vehicles that they used the excuse that they were going to be creating reduced Victory Day parades this year. But why in the world? Here's my question. For propaganda reasons, what type of sense does it make to have reduced parades when you're supposedly winning a war? Shouldn't you make them even larger and grander? That's not the case, because the case is that the Russians have lost a large amount of their modern armor, so most of the armor that would be present in these Victory Day parades is most likely deployed in Ukraine right now, just trying to give the Russians a fighting chance at this point in the war, and everything else is not there. There's nothing else there. So they're only able to pull out the one T-34 for Moscow, the one T-34 for St. Petersburg, and that's it. For the entirety of the Russian Federation is 2 T-34 tanks. And that's how badly they're doing. And so we're now going to be moving out of Russia because they embarrassed every single place that their soldiers' foots treaded on. And that also included Warsaw and Berlin, which are the farthest that the Red Army was ever able to go. It appears that the Russian bots are lag attacking us again, at least according to YouTube there. And I want to make it clear tonight, y'all.
We're good.
I asked that y'all stick with us while we have a clear moment here, because the Russian bots are DDoSing the stream right now, and they're losing at this as well. And I think it'd be more so a sign for you to stay here with us and bear through these lag attacks to show it to the Russian bots that they can't even win a DDoS attack on the 9th of May. I think that would be the most poetic thing ever, is if they even got defeated here. And so with that, we're now going to be moving on, while the lag is still coming in according to YouTube, on into the town of Warsaw, as the Russian ambassador to Poland left his embassy today to walk across the street to try and lay down a wreath at the war memorial for the Great Patriotic War, and it appears that he was stopped dead in his tracks by Polish supporters of Ukraine. It was great to see. Here's the clip. And I want everyone to note this as well. Notice how fast these videos are loading on our end and how there's nothing slowing us down on our end. This is a DDoS attack, for sure. There is no question about it this time. And also, Matthew, do you have the system active that can track down who's doing this and where?
I don't.
Dang it, man. I was hoping you would. But anyways, here's the video. Well, you see the ambassador right there? And they can't move a single foot forward. The Polish are stopping them dead in their tracks, and they weren't able to lay the wreath. An amazing day. They lose everywhere. They lose even when there isn't a war in a country. They're losing there. And I gotta say, it's wonderful. It's great, Matthew. And what is the phrase that we say when we see this kind of stuff, man? We say we love to...
I don't know.
We love to see it.
I can't follow.
We love to see it. And also, sorry, I hate to hear that you're overwhelmed. So we'll keep this thing running. And so we're moving on now out of the rest of the world. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I forgot one big thing that happened across the sea somewhere beyond the sea. And the United States of America. Today there was a press release, or more of a press briefing made by the Pentagon, or the Department of Defense, and according to the Department of Defense, they have gathered enough information and intelligence to definitively say that the Kinzhal hypersonic missile, that was of question a while ago, was successfully shot down by a Patriot surface-to-air missile defense system. The United States government is now confirming that the Patriot air defense the Patriot defense system can shoot down a Kinzhal hypersonic missile. I'm starting over. Tonight's such an exciting night for me because of the kind of stuff that we're covering tonight. I'm stepping over my words, so sorry about that. But here's the clip of the Department of Defense press secretary confirming that the Patriot was able to shoot down the Kinzhal hypersonic missile. And without further ado, here is the clip.
Ukrainians say they used a Patriot missile to intercept a Russian Kinzhal or Killjoy missile. Was the U.S. able to confirm that? And what did you learn from the intercept of what Putin has called an impossible-to-intercept missile? And then what is the, how much concern is there about Ukraine's current stock of air defense munitions? Do they have enough?
Its inventory or details of missile intercepts, I'd refer you to them. I can confirm that they did down a Russian missile by employing the Patriot missile defense system. You did confirm
That a Patriot down this Kinsal missile. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Was this a U.S. provided Patriot or one from the Dutch or Germans?
Yeah, in terms of those kinds of operational details, I'd refer you to the Ukrainians.
And so, with that right there, you heard it from him. It was a Patriot that shot down the Kinzhal. Also, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they can't hear the clip. I'm sorry about that. The volume was low. If y'all would like to watch this clip, because we sadly can't really adjust the audio any more than it is. It's already at max volume on the stream. If you would want to see this clip and listen to it for yourself, you can click on it and go to this link here in Washington, and just go click on the link once you click on it right there, and it will take you directly to that video, and you can hear him say it exactly word for word that the Ukrainians did shoot down a Kinsal hypersonic missile with a Patriot air defense battery. It is the first time ever in recorded history that a hypersonic missile has ever been shot down. And it makes me very proud to know that it was an American Patriot missile defense system that was able to score that shoot down. The Russians have nothing going for them anymore. They don't even have hypersonic missiles going for them in a war. The hypersonics can now be shot down as well, and we know that with certainty. And so with that, we're now going to be moving on from the United States and on over to Ukraine for our location unknowns. So starting off with our first clip, we saw the Ukrainians drift a buggy, and I have to say, this was a sick drift. And also, we have to mute it because it has music, but we can see them whipping this thing on the street, doing an actual donut, and then driving back on their way. Pretty sick.
Wait, is that Polaris buggy we looked at the other day?
I think it is. I think it is.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Dude, that thing can whip it, man. That thing was great. And so with that, we're now moving on from that little clip and on into today's location unknowns, where we saw that the Ukrainians... We can see them aiming the drone gun. And we can see them aiming the drone gun and most likely using it to down the drone. The soldiers are waiting for the drone to come on down. We can now see the drone coming on down. And there they go. They got it. They grab it out of the air like a nice piece of fruit.
А ну покажи.
And there they go. They took out the battery, and it's a Russian drone free of charge. And figure out where it was launched and most likely call in artillery on that position. And so with that, we're now going to be moving on from that little clip and on into the next one while we check out how things are going. And it appears that on our end, while
we're back
for a second, although I have a feeling that considering, oh, that one flatlined right there.
The bots are pissed.
Oh, the bots are seething, man. And the bots are going to have to cope, because tonight is our night. Tonight is Ukraine's night. Tonight, the Ukrainians wipe the floor against the Russians on Victory Day, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. They can DDoS us all we want, but nothing's going to stop the absolute effing that the Russians just got on the field today. And so, without further ado, here's the clip. And also, this one has a translation, so we'll be reading it all. I have the honor, Russians, 9th of May, we traditionally remember the feat of our grandfathers and great-grandfathers and pay a debt of honor for our peaceful life. But in the last few years, everything has changed. Those who shouted loudest about the Nazis became ones themselves. The Kremlin dictator is doing, one second, he's actually talking really quickly, is doing wiping off the face of the earth today, not only the cities of Ukraine, but also the historical memory of their own people. The memory of the victory over the world evil of Nazism in the 45th year, for which millions of lives of our ancestors were given. The memory is perverted by the pathos of pride and hypocrisy. Lust for victory filled our country so that a simple human desire to honor the memory of the fallen on this day makes us look back at the children dressed in military uniforms, and we can repeat stickers. But for now, Putin's army was able to repeat only the crimes of the Nazis. While we are Legion volunteers, are fighting at the front. Join the fight for our common freedom and the memory of the people in our homeland. The memory of the fallen old. And new warriors about those who fight for your free future. Join the Legion's resistance. Together we will win. I have the honor. And with that, that's the end of the speech from the Freedom of Russia Legion, as it appears that our stream has gone out again.
And also, if you happen to hear that over the mics, that was actually an Amber Alert. Don't be worried by that.
Oh, well, I didn't even hear it. I just heard myself reverbing there for a second, though. What? But anyways, with that, we're now moving on into our next clip, as we still... And I have to thank y'all all so much for y'all's patience tonight. We are getting DDoS attacked into oblivion during this stream. It appears that the Russian bots, are not going to let us have a single free moment tonight. Man, I thank every single one of y'all so much for sticking through with us so far and showing these Russian bots that no matter what they do and no matter what they throw at us, at pro-Ukrainian supporters around the world, nothing is going to stop us from gathering together and, of course, celebrating the Russians getting absolutely plastered on a day like May 9th. And so with that, we're moving on into our next clip, where we saw the Ukrainians destroying a Shahed drone in an unknown location. We can see the glow of a missile flying through the sky as it then hits the Shahed and turns it into a small nebula.
Есть! Есть, дорогая, есть! Работаем, ребята, молодцы!
And with that, that's the end of that clip. Great to see a Shahed got blown away. And with that, we're moving on to our last bit of location unknown, where we saw the Russian casualty report. And right here, we already got a Bobcat!
Four Bobcats, baby!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Four Bobcats, and the Bobcat memes are here. Brandon, I believe. Yep, Brandon threw in one. Adelbridge threw in another, I think. Yep, it is. It's a train, I think. But Smiley threw in one. Mark threw in one. KJ threw in one. Orr threw in one.
Hey.
Jessica again. We got Bobcats all over, and 4 Bobcat skid steers were wiped out today. Those were, of course, I'm kidding about this, were going to be in the Russian Victory Day Parade, but sadly, they don't want to show anything that looks American in the Victory Day Parade, but 4 of them were destroyed again today. We also saw that 650 Russian soldiers bit the dust. A pretty decent amount, especially on a day like this, and especially considering what's been happening in Bakhmut recently. The Russians are just over 4,000 away from losing 200,000 Russian soldiers over the course of this war. Not only that, they've lost 4 armored personnel carriers today, slightly below average, but were also accompanied by 11 supply trucks being completely decimated, which is on average with the rest of the war. 4 main battle tanks were also destroyed, which is also quite good. That's right within average. 13 artillery pieces were destroyed. The Russians are losing artillery pieces like they're going out of fashion, and for the most part, the Russian artillery pieces have already been out of fashion for the past few decades, so now they're just catching up. We also saw that 4 drones were shot down, 8 cruise missiles, a single anti-aircraft warfare system, and then, of course, the 4 Bobcat skid steers. All in all, today has not been that bad of a day in terms of the Ukrainians being able to inflict losses onto the Russian forces, and I think it's absolutely amazing to see on a day like Victory Day, the Russians are reminded ever so more how close they are to defeat. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from the casualty report right there, and on out of the location unknowns, and on towards the front line, and on towards the news of that decisive sweep that the Ukrainian forces pulled off in the Bakhmut battlefield over the past 48 hours. 48 hours of absolute glory as the Russians were filmed literally running off the field, and the Ukrainians reclaimed 9 square kilometers of ground, the largest frontline movement since the beginning of the Battle of Bakhmut. But before we get into that news, and before we get into any of the front line whatsoever, we have to address the polls, because the polls tonight have been talking about many things, including the Battle of Bakhmut, and also the Wagner unit, which is still stuck inside of Bakhmut, and I want to see what y'all are thinking about that, because y'all have some very interesting insights. And so with that, what do we got, Matthew?
All right, and we have several polls to address, and also I want to go ahead and say thank you all for bearing with me tonight. It has been absolutely crazy, probably one of the craziest nights we've had in months for the live chat, so I've been struggling to keep up, so if I haven't responded, fine.
This is a DDoS attack for sure, because look, we're perfectly fine on our end, everything's working fine, but our connection to YouTube's being floored. That's a DDoS
This is
attack.
ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. And I actually asked, did the Ukrainians find these places that are DDoSing us inside of Russia and slam down a missile in them? But anyways, with that, we are now going to be getting back to the poll. So, I hate to interrupt you, Matthew, but can you pick up where you left off?
Actually, I'm going to start over from the beginning because I'm not sure exactly what people heard. So the question was, Prigozhin persists and claims that Russia has not given the promised ammo to Wagner. And what are your thoughts? 61% said Putin is trying to kill Wagner, 10% said unsure, 12% said I'm mixed on it, and 17% said he's lying and they got ammo. And personally, me, I think that Putin is still trying to kill off Prigozhin and his gang. That is their only real threat to power in the Kremlin, and they're going to go ahead and take care of them in Bakhmut and basically leave them there until they get ground down to nothing. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would say that they're certainly wanting to get the Wagner unit killed, and we'll get to that here in a bit. But to cover it now, the Russians have sent a letter, a general letter to the... Oh, man, the bots is seething.
They're so angry.
Dude, they are so angry tonight, and I love it. I love every minute of it, because we know why they're seething. But anyways, I think they're trying to get the Wagner killed. So with that, I hope we addressed that poll fairly well, and we are on to the next one.
And real quick, I'm going to go ahead and put on a slow mode, a small little timeout of, let's see here, 25 seconds, and we're going to turn on subscriber mode as well. So let's see if that helps with the chat any. I think that'll help a lot, actually. But the next poll says, Prigozhin says that Russia is unable to defend itself and says the Russian unit in Bakhmut has ran off. And what are your thoughts? 77% said it's true, Russia is falling apart. 7% said unsure, 9% said I'm mixed on it, and 7% said false. Prigozhin is lying again. And I think it is probably true. No reason for Prigozhin to say that. It really wouldn't serve any purpose to deceive anyone. So I think it is true, and Russia is falling apart. As we see, they barely have any equipment left. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would have to say the Russians are falling apart. We've been saying for about a few months now that the Russian units in Bakhmut are unbelievably continuing on despite complete exhaustion and a depletion of ammunition and supplies. And now we're starting to see that those units are disintegrating and collapsing right now, and the Ukrainians are starting to move forward in a literal sweep. And I don't mean to use that word a lot tonight, but a sweep is a term used, it's a term that dates back to around the First World War and even further back, that means that when you enter the field in battle against an enemy force, you literally just sweep them off the field. So it's not even like a competition. It's like you get a broom and you just start sweeping them off. And that's what a sweep means. And that's what we're looking at right here, is that the Ukrainians are starting to conduct a sweep in Bakhmut right now. And it's unbelievable. So with that, I would say the Russians are certainly collapsing. And I hope we addressed that poll fairly well. And we are on to the next one.
And the third poll says, Putin has threatened that Wagner will be considered traitors if they leave Bakhmut. And what are your thoughts? 36% said Putin will execute them if leaving, 36% said their fate is already sealed, 7% said unsure, and 21% said it's just talk and nothing will happen. And while I study my way through that, I think I'm with the 36% that said their fate is already sealed. Putin knows that he's a huge threat to his power, and he's not going to let him suddenly gain any more power over his government. So I think the fate's already sealed and it's in the bag. But Enforcer, what say you?
Their fate is sealed, no question about it. Putin wants the Wagner dead, and he's going to push them into the Ukrainians until they disappear, or they're going to fall back and get executed by the Russians. It's one or the other at this point, and I have a feeling that at the end of it, when push comes to shove, Prigozhin would rather face down the Russian army at this point than he would the Ukrainians. And we'll be getting to that in a little bit as to why I'm saying that, because we actually have a little bit of backup proof to show that he's thinking that more so now than thinking of facing down the Ukrainians. But with that, I hope we addressed that poll fairly well, and we are now on to the next one.
All right, and that was our last poll, so we are moving into our Super Chat questions. And real quick, let me reorganize the spreadsheet, and there we go. The first Super Chat we have is from Mark, Colonel of the LSA, and he puts in a very generous $220 donation. And thank you so much, Mark, for that generosity. He says, Uga Chuga, Uga Chuga, Uga Chuga. I'm hooked on a feeling, and I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Oh my god. I think it's Uka Chaka, Uka Chaka,
oh,
Uka
well.
Chaka. I can't stop this feeling. You know that song. But still,
boy.
I'm not even going to try, man. I know it's bad. But still, thank you so much for the massive amount of support, Mark. And I'm high on believing tonight that the Russians are getting slaughtered. And today, more than any other day, we may be seeing that the Wagner unit and the entirety of all the Russian forces in Bakhmut are going to be wiped off the field. This isn't even where the Ukrainian counteroffensive is happening, yet the Russians are so bad off here, they're getting wiped out. We've been saying this, Matthew, by the way, for days at this point. You know, we've been saying they're in bad shape. Some people have been saying it's a trap. I think what's happened over the past 48 hours have shown that was no trap. Prigozhin was not even lying. The Russians are just out of ammo, and they're out. And I know.
Man, it sounds like you're absolutely rapid firing when that lag hits.
Well, I mean, I kind of am. But still, to get back to what I was saying, Mark, because your support, and folks who help this channel to keep on running, y'all help us to keep this stream running until we get to days like these, where the news is just so good that there are some people out there that just can't let us get the news out. And so they have to DDoS us like they just did right there. And so, man, those bots, man.
That started again.
Yeah, they are trying tough, man. They are trying hard. But you know something, Matthew? We're not stopping tonight. It doesn't matter how many times we get DDoS like this. We're not stopping. It looks like we're kind of coming back. And it looks like we're back for the most part now. So thank you so much once again for the support, Mark. I hope we addressed that fairly well. And we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next one goes to BC Skyman. He puts in a $100 donation, and thank you so much, BC, for the support. He says, chat question, please. It's Enforcer's time.
And thank you so much for the massive amount of support, BC Skyman. And it is the Enforcer's time, and it's not just the Enforcer's time. It's all of Ukraine's time tonight. Because we're watching something amazing happen, and it's so amazing we keep on getting DDoS. I don't know if the Russian bots get it or not, but honestly, that's a high honor to think that that the Russian bots hate what we're saying so much. They're actively trying to silence us live. That's hilarious. I love it. But with that, let's get to the live chat. And thank you so much once again for the support, BC Skyman, the massive amount of support, and helping this channel to keep on running so that way we can just exist just for the sole fact of spiting these bots. And so with that, let's get to the live chat.
All right, and the live chat goes to Figment, who says, if Putin, Prigozhin, and Kadyrov are all dead, who would most likely seize power in Russia?
That's a good question. Reread it one more time just so that way I know who's dead.
If Putin, Prigozhin, and Kadyrov are all dead, who would seize power in Russia?
Most likely Medvedev. Because Medvedev is Putin's right-hand man right now. He is the prime minister of the Russian Federation, so he'd most likely be the one to step up to the plate. If not him, I would take a guess it would be Shoigu, the bricklayer. So with that, I hope that does address that question fairly well. Thank you so much once again for the massive amount of support, BC Skyman. And with that, we are on to the final question of the segment, and then we're going to be getting on to the news tonight that the Russian bots don't want you to hear of the literal sweep. And I'm telling y'all might be able to hear it a little bit in my voice. I'm constantly smiling over here because I'm getting a huge kick out of us constantly getting DDoSed over here right now because these little bots, these sad little bots are sitting there going, Russia will win, and they're not winning. And so that,
man, this whole situation reminds me of like those ads for like doctors, like scam stuff. Like the orcs don't want you to know the simple trick,
dude,
the truth.
Dude, orcs hate us. Find out how we make a whole entire country hate us with one simple trick.
Man, wouldn't it be nice when we get broadband fiber?
Man, I can't wait for full fiber broadband. But with that, we are on to the final question of this segment.
And this one goes to Cindy Mitchell, who puts in a $50 super chat. And thank you very much, Cindy, for the very generous support. She says, good. Tucker is thanking the LSA for all the B-Day wishes in LSA.
And thank you so much for the support, Cindy. Wait a minute, hang on. I got that right?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm sitting here trying to look at everything going on right now. I'm so sorry, everyone. We're like trying to multitask all over the place tonight. But thank you so much once again for the support, Cindy Mitchell. And it's good to hear that Tucker did enjoy the birthday wishes. Of course, we wish everyone in the LSA who's having a happy birthday a happy birthday. If you are having one, let us know. And we always wish folks a happy birthday. And it's good to know that Tucker, which is one of our youngest members of the Lee Spring Army, I believe, enjoyed the happy birthday wishes from the entirety of the Lee Spring Army. And so thank you so much once again for the support, Cindy Mitchell, and helping this channel to keep on running, helping us to spite these bots, give out birthday wishes, and help continue to cover this news. I thank you so much once again. I hope that does address that fairly well. And now it's time for us to get to the frontline news. Oh man, the Russian bots, man, they are sweating. I'm telling you, man, they are sweating right now because we're about to be getting right into Bakhmut here in probably about 10 minutes. And that's the part that they're probably freaking out the most about tonight. So that We're now moving on just north of Svatove, where we saw a Ukrainian recon unit returning from a recon mission. And so here's the clip. We can see them moving on past a cemetery, down a dirt road. And we can see the gunner here turning around and throwing up a finger. Not a middle finger, just a finger. And that's the end of the clip. And this guy has got some ammo, man. I don't know what kind of ammo that is for what kind of gun. Because it looks like he's just carrying an AK. He may actually be supporting a larger gun, but I don't know what kind of gun that would be. Anyways,
He's strapped.
Man, that guy is strapped, and he's going to be clapping. And it's not going to be that kind of like Wagner or Kadyrovite clapping. He's going to be clapping guys at the field with a big machine gun. Anyways, with that, I'm going to be moving on south of Svatove towards the area of Krasnoyarchinske, where we saw a Ukrainian drone operator destroying a Russian trench. And also, before they destroyed this trench, they scared away a little fox. And so we're going to be muting that. And someone said that was most likely 7.62 by 54 rimmed. I can tell you this, that is not 7.62 by 54 rimmed. That was massive ammo. And I do have 7.62 by 54 rimmed. It's not that big. But we can see them running off the fox right there. A very kind move by this Ukrainian drone operator, making sure to try and keep the animals out of danger. And the fox is running on off. They're getting it on out of there as far as they can. And there goes the fox off into the distance. And now we can see him getting back to business at the Russian trench. Dropping the first bomblet. The first bomblet is on its way and lands directly on top of a Russian soldier. We can now see a second bomblet on its way down, hitting another Russian soldier. We can now even see... And third time is the charm. Another bomblet being dropped onto a Russian trench. Oh, man. Dude, I noticed this, man. We haven't been DDoSed for about 5 minutes. Russian bots are crying. Wait, hang on, man. I got to pull up. Wait, 1 second. One second, man. While this video plays, I gotta go.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What's
man.
coming?
You'll see. You'll see. But we can see the bomblets falling on top of the trenches down there. This is gonna be great. 1 second. I gotta find the right one. Oh, 1 second. Alright, there we go. That's the yeah, I can't love this one. Oh, man. But it's nice to see the 108th Brigade, of course, whacking out Russian soldiers right out of their trenches with bomblets. And now I have a picture. I've actually found the picture, Matthew, of the Russian bots right now as we're running the stream. This is what the Russian bots...
Oh,
This is
man.
what the Russian bots are right now. That's what they're doing. And I love to see it. It's great. It's so... It's so that we're going to be moving
Make
on.
him look a little bit more meth addicted, and you might be a little closer.
Yeah, a little bit more meth addicted, maybe a little larger. But with that, we're moving on into the Crimea area, where we saw a Russian tank firing onto Ukrainian positions. Of course, the Battle of Crimea has still been ongoing, and it appears that the tank that was in this film may have been destroyed a little bit later on. We also have video footage of that as well. But we can see the Russian tank firing through the tree line. We can see all the trees have been stripped of their leaves and limbs, most likely from the constant bombardment of the area. And we can see the Russian tank trying to fire onto the Ukrainian trench. We can now see a round explode onto a tree, but it doesn't appear to have exploded in the trench. It seems as though the Russian tankers can't really hit onto the berm of the trench, at least yet. It appears that they finally did. We can now see them continuing to hit the trench. We don't really see any Ukrainian soldiers in there, however, so you can't really confirm how many there are or if any of them are being wounded, but the battle is tough. Of course, victory comes at a bit of a price, and for the Ukrainians, compared to the Russians getting defeated, the victory is coming relatively cheap compared to how much the Russians are paying to lose. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from that clip and on to our next one, where we saw that a T-90M was spotted destroyed in the Crimea area, and it appears that from the trees, it may be the T-90M we saw in that video. So here's the clip. When you see it burned out, trank's gone, it's just sitting there. And it's fresh, by the way. It hasn't rusted over. So this thing was destroyed recently. So this may be the tank we just saw on film.
Це російський, правильно?
And the camerawoman asked the soldier over there, is that a Russian tank? And the soldier said yes. And it is destroyed. That might be our little T-90 right there in the last video. And the Russians are crying again. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, y'all. I know a lot of people like it when we're a little bit more professional. I can't help but bust out laughing tonight, considering how much we've been DDoSed and how sad and pitiful the Russians are at this point, is that they're having to go onto the internet to try and claim a single victory, and they're not even claiming a victory here. It's pathetic, it's sad, it's hilarious. But we're moving on to our next clip, where we also saw another Russian tank in Kremenna run over a mine, and then when they thought it couldn't get worse, they get hit by an AT. Well, I'm sorry, actually, this is right. I'm sorry, that's the one later. I think that one's towards Bakhmut. This is a Russian armored car that's going to run over a landmine in the Kremenna area and nearly get flipped. The crew survives, but the armored car is gone.
Damn.
We hear the hydraulic fluid flooding out of the thing, most likely. Oh. And now they're freaking out. They're going to climb out of the tank, probably step on an anti-personnel mine.
Вот так вот я, блядь, на мине нахуй подорвался, блядь.
Well, you can see the hole that the AT mine left, and we can see that the front of the armored car, suffice to say, is... Well, wait a minute, hang on. That's no armored car. That's a supply truck. Oh, no. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Hang on. We got to change that. Because the caption, I didn't catch this the first time I saw this. Russian troops filmed themselves driving over a landmine in their truck, but survived the blast. When I read that caption earlier, it said an armored truck. This is not an armored truck. That's a KAMAZ. They ran over this thing, and I'm telling you this, the driver did not survive that. I'm just telling you. The driver did not survive that. So let's watch that again, knowing that they're not an armored truck, they're in a KAMAZ. So here's the clip again. Oh,
dear, блядь.
Oh, блядь, I don't think insurance will cover this, blядь.
They were probably told the truck was armored, and they realized it wasn't.
Dude, you know what this sounds like right here? You know what the sound is? It's water park tickets. Listen to it again. You can faintly hear the sound of a water slide. Yeah, that's water park tickets and a chocolate cake right there. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from that clip. We can see things are not going well for the Russians in Kremenna. And oh, buddy, are they not going well in Bakhmut at all. In the Solidar area, this is near Krasnohora, is where the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade is found. And also the terror group. We heard the report from the terror group that there was a sweep. 1 second. Let me make sure this is the right one. Oh, hang on. That's not the right one. Let me go to another one here real quick. I got to get to the first... Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Is it down here? Let's see. Pushing them back. Yep, it's this one. Let's move it up here because the terror is actually up here with them. So yesterday, and we showed this on one of my short video summaries, the terror group stated that they had pushed the Russians back an entire kilometer. And when I made that video... A lot of people went, there's no source, there's no proof, but I'll show y'all proof. Oh, I'll show you proof. And the Russian bots, they're going, no, don't do it. And we're about to show the proof. But anyways, hello. My friends, my call sign is Abdullah. I'm the commander of the terror unit. We woke up at 3 a.m. At 4:30, we were already in position, working and with results. A whole kilometer of Ukrainian land has been cleared and liberated from the Wagner group. Russians, invaders. We continue to work. I think that is not all for today. Victory is ours. Slava Ukraini. And so we're now moving on to the next clip, where we saw that the commander of the 3rd, or at least the representative of the 3rd Brigade, also known as the Azov, once again corroborated that information today. Glory to Ukraine. I report. As a result of the offensive actions of the Armed Forces of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade, units of the 72nd Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces were defeated. Practically, the 6 and 8 companies of this brigade were completely destroyed. Brigade's reconnaissance was defeated, a large number of armored vehicles destroyed, a significant number of captives taken. The so-called 3rd Assault Unit of Wagner PMC took significant losses. Hostilities took place on a strip 3 kilometers wide and about 3 kilometers deep. This whole territory is liberated from Russian occupational forces. To the fighters of the 3rd Assault Brigade, it is a great honor for me to fight next to you, to serve with you, and to command you. You're the true heroes who showed what the Ukrainian fighting spirit is. Glory to Ukraine.
And Heroam Slava.
And Heroam Slava. And now, to top it all off, now we're going to be going to Prigozhin. Who confirmed this? He confirmed it from both of them. So here's the clip of Prigozhin confirming it, and also stating that he's being threatened if they move off the line, they're going to be charged with treason. So here's a clip of this. Yesterday, we received a military order in which it was clearly stated that the first important thing is that in case of leaving the position, it will be recognized as treason of the motherland. This is an appeal to us. If there is no ammunition, then we will leave the position and ask the question, who is the one who is changing the motherland? Apparently the one who signed. So the second thing, the military order that had stated it was absolutely necessary for everyone to supply the group of the Wagner People's Committee. Apparently, he made an emotional statement in his military order, the person who signed, because he was afraid that we would leave and come to him in Rostov-on-Don. And Ukrainians will come to him in Rostov if the front line crumbles. Today, everything is done absolutely to make it crumble. Therefore, today, one of the units of the Ministry of Defense fled from one of our flanks. By leaving the position, almost everyone fled and burned the front with a width of almost 2 kilometers and a depth of 500 meters. It's good that we blocked it somehow, which they did. We have the Ministry of Intrigue, the place of the Ministry of Defense. Therefore, our army is running. Running because the 72nd Brigade today lost 3 square kilometers, on which about 500 people died. Because it was a strategic bridgehead. They just took it and ran. And as you heard, the torch, a blue torch, a butthole torch, such a special plug in the ass, they fled just like the 72nd Brigade. This is a fact.
Man, he'd want to die today.
Dude, this man says, I want to fall out a window today. And on top of that, we just heard from 3 people, the terror group commander, the 3rd Brigade commander, and Prigozhin, that the 72nd Brigade was swept. They were swept off the lines. And so, now it's time for the fun. Now it's time for us to watch them get swept off the lines. And so here's the first clip of them just getting it. And here's the clip. It's unbelievable. The Russians are literally running off the field. We've just taken a trip to the positions and saw what is happening. Our army is running. And there they are. They're running. There's the Ukrainian tank in the tree line. They're literally just running.
Oh my God.
They're taking off. And here comes
this is pathetic.
Here comes the Ukrainian tank. There's the Russians down there running off. It's running because the 72nd Brigade today effed up around 3 square kilometers where I lost around 500 men. And we can now see the Ukrainians, the 3rd Brigade today, pushing forward through that area. Oh my God.
Do you even waste ammo on cowards like that, or do you take them out anyway?
I don't know, but they are getting them. Good God. And we can see them walking past some trash in the field. Of course, the Russians leave behind a lot of trash. And we can see you see the Ukrainians flooding into the tree line like they're a SWAT team or something. Good God, look at that. We can now see the Ukrainians following up their APC as they advance forward. Russian trench is completely empty. The APC's rolling up to wherever they think there's resistance, just sweeping them out. I'm opening up the combat chat. Messages are pouring. They literally just have like a Discord that they're in. And the Torch PMC from Gazprom is gone. And we can see them getting shelled, and they ran off. They retreated off the field. Ukrainians will come to Rostov and the front line collapses, and it is. We can see the Russians literally getting run over by a tank. And we can see what may be a Russian soldier right there. Wait a minute, that is a Russian soldier! That is a Russian soldier! He's watching this Ukrainian tank drive by, and it's such chaos, and the Ukrainians are overrunning them so quickly, he doesn't even know it's a Ukrainian tank. So it just blows right past him, and he has no idea what's going on. Dude, this tank is on a rampage. We now see the Russians kind of getting close to it. The tank's spinning around. Actually, hang on, stand by. That's actually Ukrainian. Sorry, correction there.
So the guys around the tank are Ukrainian?
Yeah, the guys around the tanks were Ukrainians, but the tank is still running right over Russians. The war will be lost. Happy holiday, 9th of May, everyone. And now you can see some guys in the 3rd Brigade here capturing some Russian soldiers after their lines just completely collapsed. And this isn't the only clip. This isn't the only one. We've got more. Well, we got more. It gets better. We saw that they captured a large group of Russian prisoners to the south near the M03 highway today. Clip right here.
Давай.
And there they are, a couple of them.
Сумчанам привет. Извините, что я сюда пришел.
And also, real quick, I see a bunch of people asking, was that a Bradley or a tank in the last video?
Let's go back and check real quick, because I think it was a YPR 765, but let's make sure. So we're going to skip forward to where most people are probably talking about. So let's see here. It should be around this point. Let's take a look. Hang on. It's a Bradley! It really is!
It is.
It's the first Bradley we've ever seen in combat. Now, I do see some people starting to contradict that now and say it's not a Bradley. Let me show you why I'm saying it is a Bradley. The M2A3 Bradley. And let me try and see some pictures of the rear here. Let's see here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We gotta find it. We gotta find it. We need a good picture of the rear of the Bradley. Alright, so there's the rear door. And every Bradley, every single variant of the Bradley, has these two very distinct little shapes right over here on the sides. And if you look at this vehicle, you can see those two very distinct little shapes, the exact same kind, on the sides. And the rear of the APC is also angled a little bit towards the top, which once again, Bradleys
it's a Bradley.
have the similar feature. It is a Bradley, and it also has a turret that has two hatches on the top, which a Bradley has. That is the first Bradley we have ever seen on the lines. It is a real Bradley. Dude, the Bradleys were probably a good part of the reason why they were able to conduct that sweep today. Jesus Christ, it's a Bradley. I'm glad that y'all saw that because I thought it was a YPR 765. But with that, we're moving on. Wait a minute, we already showed that clip of the captured Russians. I'm getting so excited right now. I can't even contain it. But with that, we're going to be moving on to the next one. And let me make sure. Let's see, that was... Okay, we've gone over that one. So here's another one of the Russians fleeing their positions. This one was filmed by the Atom Unit. We can see them burning up a Russian trench. Man, what a night. What a night. The Bradleys are finally in action.
Dang.
Oh
What's the other rare vehicle we need to see to make it even a better night?
An Abrams. That's what we need to see. Or a Leopard. But we can see right here, the Russian trench toasting on up. The Atom Unit, of course, largely a drone and recon unit, is, of course, in this counteroffensive as well, and obliterating the Russians. We can see a Russian run out of there. It appears he's a little smoky. Man. I gotta tell you, man, this is a night I'm gonna remember for a long time. Victory Day has never been anything but victory, and it really is a victory day today. We can see the Russian soldier continuing to run off. It appears that he's slightly confused, however. I would also be confused if I was a part of an army that sucked that bad. And we can see some more smoky Russians coming on out. We can see this guy is not just smoky, he's a little toasty. And the Atom unit appears to have landed a very lucky strike, pun intended, on this little outpost. As that fire continues to burn, and we don't really know how many Russians were inside of that bunker. You know, Matthew, you know something I just thought? That guy's pants was on fire. And you know something that the Russians are? They're liars. And we're finally seeing their pants catch on fire. It's finally happening. It's happening today on Victory Day of all days.
But you see him running like Charlie Chaplin, though?
Oh, yeah.
And look at them go. They're running down the road in a silly little fashion. It looks like they're from the Ministry of City Works.
But, man, what a day. And observe the spacing. This is the first time I've ever seen them have any spacing. But now they lost the spacing immediately. When you see Liar Liar Pants on fire here, he's still keeping up with them.
Man, they could be a track star running like this.
Oh, man, it's sped up footage, though.
I know.
But that's the end of that clip. And once again, showing the sweep that has been happening in the northern area of the Bakhmut battlefield. So I'm going to move y'all on to the second clip, where Prigozhin was still complaining that they have no ammo. They still have no ammo. Nobody's given them a drop of ammo. So here he is, and here's the clip.
Вот такие вот снаряды. А вместо того, чтобы отдавать их в войсках, их накапливают на неких складах, для чего никто не знает. И вместо того, чтобы потратить снаряд, убить противника, сохранить жизнь нашего солдата, убивают наших солдат, а счастливый дедушка думает, что ему хорошо. И что делать дальше стране, если он окажется прав, дай Бог всем здоровья. А вот что делать стране? Что делать нашим детям, внукам, будущему России?
I swear when I had this video earlier, it had a translation. I don't know where that translation has gone since then. Because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, man, I remember what he was saying. But, you know, it has no translation, so I don't know exactly when he's saying the parts.
A translation, I'm full of crap and I have very little time left to live.
That's probably the translation, honestly. Oh, man, he'll never live that one down. Oh, man, but I'll tell you one thing that he will live down. He'll live down from the window to the concrete. That's where he'll be living down. But with that, anyways, he's still out of ammo. He's sitting in front of a Mr. B that has no ammo, and he's complaining they have no ammo. Suffice it to say, that's pretty much the whole gist of the video right there. We're going to be moving on into the city of Bakhmut, where the fun doesn't end there, where we saw more Russian soldiers being obliterated by artillery. And some smooth jazz. We can see the Russians moving into the building, where the Ukrainian artillery will get them nice and easy. It's like putting all of the eggs into one basket, but this basket has a bomb in it, and it blows up right when all the eggs get in. Look at that. So many eggs. And not enough basket. And so with that, that's the end of the clip. So that's the end of the clip. We're moving on to the next one. And have you noticed something, Matthew? The bots have given up. They've given up.
Don't jinx it, man.
Oh, no, no.
Back.
I gotta jinx it now. They gave up. They left and quit. And I love to see it. We love to see it, Matthew. Love to see it. So with that, we're moving on into the next one, where we saw the Carpathian Sich Brigade, I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. They were in a firefight today. I'm so excited, I can't even keep the wordage straight. Here's the clip. You hear explosions outside as they're in an incredibly heavy firefight. We hear a machine gun firing, and we see the Ukrainian soldier going upstairs with a M320 grenade launcher. You now see him coming back down to reload the grenade launcher. Loading it up again. Getting ready to go. He goes back up there. See the cameraman going back downstairs. We hear a shell fly by. You now see him firing the grenade launcher again.
Man laughs like me.
And the firefight is going on strong. He's now running back to the opening, aiming his grenade launcher, firing, and then retreating as the brick wall in front of him collapses. He's now reloading the grenade launcher again. You see fire has charred the inside of the building, and they're having a hell of a time as the Russians are literally a turkey shoot outside with almost no ammo. We now see him going up to the next floor where a Ukrainian is using an M16 to fire out of a window.
Братик, що? Слава Україні, що заебись.
Єбать, в натурі горить.
And also, Daniel, you may be correct. That may be a GP34. I may have gotten that wrong. Here, some crisp machine gun fire going on outside as the grenadier runs back up there and fires off. Let me make it correct. I believe it's the GP34. He now runs back and the video clip ends, but a massive credit, an unbelievable credit, to those brave souls that are inside of that Carpathian Sich unit as they continue to fight inside of Bakhmut. Entirely made up of volunteers, that sole purpose is to defend Ukraine from the Russian invaders. We're now going to be moving on into our next clip, just a little bit further down the street, where we saw the Russians in retaliation tried to destroy a Ukrainian church, and it appears that they were able to get pretty far in the process of damaging it and then burning it down. 1 second. It appears that we had a little bit of a glitch right there. I don't know how in the world the taskbar popped up, but there's a clip, and we also got to mute that because that's copyrighted. You can see the church continuing to burn, and it doesn't, you know, Matthew, most of the time I'd be sad about seeing a church burn, but you know, today I just can't be sad because, you know, they can burn this church down all they want, but this will never stop a lot of Russians from being buried outside of a church somewhere in Russia.
Facts.
Straight facts. We're spitting straight facts around here, and the Russians can't even spit out another DDoS attack. Weak losers. They lose everywhere. They even lose here. They just need to pack up and go home.
Oh, the Russians are so tired.
Oh man, they're so sleepy.
Literally.
They take a little lie down there. But we can see the city of Bakhmut again. And that city right there is where the Russians have met their Waterloo. They've met their D-Day. They've met their Gettysburg. This is where the war ends for them. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from that little clip and on into the next one, where we can then see yesterday the Ukrainians were able to hit a Russian gun crew with some precise artillery. Oh, I gotta mute that. But we see the flash of the machine gun right up there in that window, and the artillery lands just a few floors below. Smoke covering the building, and that crew might be gone. But with that, that's the end of the clip, and it's nice to see. With that, we're going to be moving on to our next one, where we also saw a Russian fly. Because, you know, the Russians said they would lose Bakhmut the day pigs fly, and we got to see one of those pigs fly today. And so here's the clip. We can see them hitting the top of a building. Pretty precise shot. And we're waiting for it right over there. There's the pig that flies. And it looks like they're losing Bakhmut then. Wonderful to see. And so, and also, by the way, that was, I can't say it specifically, but that specific cosmonaut was not Yuri Gagarin. That was one of Prigozhin's little boys. And so we're going to be moving on into the next clip, where you can see a T-90M also got destroyed in the city today. Oh, man. Also, it says no location, but we were able to locate this down to about the southern end of Bakhmut City. Here's the T-90M just running through the fields. Of course, the Russians have no skill whatsoever. They don't really know how to hide a tank. So we can see the T-90M firing off its gun. And we can now see it blowing out smoke cover as it tries to retreat off the field. But alas, it does it no good. as he gets hit later on and goes up in flames. God, they lost the fight. Man, they can't win for nothing today. That's a $5 million MBT that was just lost right there by him. And one of 50. It's only one of about 50 of these things. And so with that, that's the end of that clip to top it all off. And meanwhile, while the Russians are getting absolutely swatted inside of Bakhmut right now, the Ukrainians are watching from the ridgelines just outside of the city as the battle rages on.
Nice.
The Ukrainians are watching from this hill about 2 miles away going, do you think they'll live until next week? This guy over here, he's just sipping a little coffee. Nah, I'd give him about till tomorrow. And I think it will be...
This image is good enough for like a oil painting, like to put on the wall.
Honestly, I think I'm going to have to save... Well, yeah, I'm going to wait until after the stream, but I'm going to have to save this one because this is the Battle of Bakhmut summed up into a picture. Just a couple of Ukrainians just watching as the city gets obliterated from about 2 miles away, and the Russians lose the only battle they ever had a hope of maybe trying to win over the rest of the war. And so... with that, we're going to be moving on from this oil painting of a picture. Honestly, someone needs to make this an oil painting. If we have anyone who's a painter in this live chat, I would love to see an oil painting of this one. Maybe add a Ukrainian flag somewhere in it near these soldiers, because this is one hell of a picture right here. And, man, I mean, it's crazy to think that just right out there, right about where these high-rises are right here, where a mouse cursor is the top roof of those, that is the front line right there. And these Ukrainians are watching as the biggest battle of the war unfolds right in front of them just a few miles away. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from that little picture. Honestly, that should have been tonight's thumbnail because that is one hell of a picture right there. It may be another night's thumbnail. But with that, we're going to be moving on from that picture, an amazing one at that, and down towards the highway perimeter where we saw that the Ukrainians were recovering their BMPs from the road because, by the way, I forgot to mention this. And also, Deep State hasn't updated, sadly, so we don't actually have a lot to go off of rather than the reports by Ukrainian forces. And also, I tried to look at live UA and use them tonight, but they're just straight up wrong. As it shows that the Russians control the T-0504 and are inside of Casualty a little bit, which is just inherently untrue because the Ukrainians are still using the T-0504 to resupply and replenish their forces, and that's the only road they have. So if the Russians were on it, we would see that there would be no Ukrainians on the T-0504 like we saw today. But we saw a T-64BV trying to pull a BMP-2 off the side of the road and making a little bit of progress. Also, we're going to have to mute that, but we can see the BMP-2 right there, the T-64 giving everything it's got to try and pull that BMP out of the side of the road.
Now, you see, if they used a Ford tough truck, they might have been able to pull out of the ditch a little faster. But damn, son, where do you find one of those?
Damn, son, where'd you find this? Have you ever wanted to find yourself the best pulling power in the class? Well, you ought to get yourself a brand new Ukrainian T-64BV. The brand new T-64BV. I don't even feel like I can do that voice well tonight because I'm so hyped up. I'm about to hype myself out of the voice. But with that, we're going to be moving on from Bakhmut. As we saw a sweet sweep, that's what we're going to call it today, the sweet sweep of May 9th. And so with that, we're going to be moving on from Bakhmut and the great news we saw there, and a little bit further down the lines towards Pisky, where we saw Russians running from the field here as well. We don't really have a lot of information about why they were running from the field in this area, but here's the clip. We're tired of these. We see them just streaming off the field in the route. Guys sat down to rest.
Пацаны присели передохнуть. Пацаны сейчас отдохнут.
Ivan, let's rest. Yes, Vasily, let's rest. And here we will lie down. Everything will be fine. Wow, we rested. I had a rest. And then poof. No, we need to run. We will rest in another place.
Не, хуёво место для отдыха. Надо бежать, пока, блядь, в другом месте отдохнем. Вася, беги.
Вася, run. I'm tired. Run.
Беги. Сил нету бежать.
Man, this guy is narrating this like a show. And there they go. There goes the whole squad, or what's left of it again. We're running, блин.
Бежим.
And they're going, and they're resting again. A little tired. They don't do cardio much. The best cardio they get is running down to the liquor store for some vodka. And poof, another shell lands right on top of them.
Раз, два, три.
And there they go again, off to the races.
5, 6. Нас осталось 6. Нас осталось 6. А, не, 7 он выбежал. Нас осталось 7 из 15.
Now there's only 7 out of the 15 of them that were left. They're still routing out of the field. And that's the end of the clip. And some say that these Russians are still running off the field to this day. Some say they've even made it back to Rostov-on-Don. But who really knows? Because I think they're all going to be back in Rostov-on-Don before we know it. They'll just blend in with the crowd. We're now moving on down past the area of Marinka and in between Volodar, where we saw the Ukrainians were able to destroy an MTLB in this area thanks to the 73rd Maritime Center of the SSO. You see the MTLB right there in the tree line. We can now see the camera of the kamikaze drone. Sorry, just a normal drone as it drops a bomblet down onto that MTLB, hitting it dead on in the first shot. One hell of a shot. And we now see the next day the MTLB has been burned out. Oh, man. I love it. So we're moving on from that clip. And on into our next one, towards the area of Velika Novoselka, where we saw our first sighting of some Romanian MLRSs. These are APR-40s. We've never seen these before, but here's the first clip of them in action. We see them setting up and preparing to fire. And we're not going to see them fire in this clip, but this is the first time we've ever seen these MLRSs on the front line, and great to see. We're now going to be moving on from those Romanian MLRSs and down towards the area of Malnivka, where we saw a Russian tank run straight into a mine and then get finished off by an anti-tank missile. It's a great day, and it's gotten even better. Here it is. Also, we're going to have to mute that, but we can see the tank rolling forward, and... Doof!
Oh!
Oh, what a solid hit! And then, while the Russian crew is trying to get their wits back together and go, "Oh, блядь, what happened? Suka, блядь. Пиздик, блядь, I don't know what happened, the suka. Oh, блядь. Oh, it's a bill, блядь." And we see the Russian getting up right there and moving away a little bit. And he's gone, and the other guy's gone. He's in the trench over here trying to figure out what's going on. We didn't see the third crew member leave, but we see artillery landing nearby. And then, to round it all out, here comes the AT missile, hitting it right in the side and starting a fire, that'll burn out the tank and ensure that if it was usable in any way, it won't be usable again. Very nice. Love to see it. And so that... Bleh. We're gonna be moving on. Bots gave up. Bots went home maybe about an hour ago at this point. And man, they couldn't even win here. Man, and think about that. They've lost everywhere today. The Victory Day Parade, the front line, everywhere. They lost. They come here and they try and win by shutting down this stream. They can't even win here. Man, it's...
The Russians are done. They're done.
They're done. They're done. Not even their cyber warfare unit could do as good as it used to. Man... I gotta tell you, I love it. And so we're moving on to Tokmak, where we heard that the Russians freaked out so bad they're asking Ukrainians to go with them. So here's the clip. We're waiting for it to load. Here it is. And we hear a Russian soldier explaining to a woman why they're evacuating them. Yep, that freaked out that they're evacuating people from Tokmak. Oh man, a Don. They're going to be done for a Don. And so with that, we're now moving on from Tokmak. And believe it or not, we've covered all the news. North to south, east to west. We showed where the Russians got their asses beat everywhere today. Even in Poland, even in Russia, and of course in the fields of Ukraine. So we're now going to be moving on up to Kyiv, because Zelenskyy added insult to injury today with his address. And so without further ado, here's a speech from President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to top the whole thing off. Let's get it.
Здоров'я, шановні українці. Сьогодні ми всі змогли побачити, коли державі повернута чесну історію, то послідовність подій набуває особливого сенсу. Вчора, 8 травня, Європа і світ згадували про спільну перемогу над агресією нацизму, про капітуляцію того зла. А сьогодні, 9 травня, ми разом з усією вільною Європою, відзначаючи День Європи, вшановуємо досягнення, якого просто не було би, якби не було перемоги над нацизмом. Не було би у нас такої об'єднаної Європи. Європи без агресії і реваншизму. Європи, що поважає різні культури, яка вирішує суперечки виключно в правовій площині, і яка пишається різноманіттям на нашому континенті. Чим більше люди знатимуть чесну історію, чим більше бачитимуть спільне між жорстокими агресіями 20-го і 21-го століття, тим більше цінуватимуть цю послідовність. День пам'яті та перемоги над нацизмом в Другій світовій війні, а одразу за ним День Європи. Європи як реалізованої мрії про мирний континент. І це лише питання часу, коли ми зможемо відновити сталий і справедливий мир для нашої частини Європи, для України. Це лише питання часу, коли і теперішній агресор програє як той агресор, що програв 78 років тому. Коли і російський реваншизм буде роздавлений хоробрістю наших воїнів та спільною силою вільного світу. Сьогодні День Європи в Україні. Ми відзначали разом з Європою. Візит Урсули фон дер Ляйн, пані президентки Європейської комісії, був і символічний саме у цей день, і дуже продуктивним. Ми обговорили і нашу оборону, те, чого маємо досягти, і те, чого очікуємо від партнерів. Обговорили санкційний тиск на Росію, активно готуємо разом із Європою 11-й санкційний пакет проти Росії. Обговорили наші політичні перспективи в європейській інтеграції. Звичайно, обговорили і експортну суперечку із нашими сусідами в ЄС. Ми маємо вирішити її в чіткому дусі існуючої між нами договірної бази. Дякую пані президентці Франція, Італія, Іспанія, Угорщина, ну і, звичайно, українські студенти. Поговорили із ними про сміливість, яка завжди буде потрібною Європі, та про те, як ми всі разом можемо наблизити нашу спільну перемогу. Є чергові хороші новини від партнерів. І з того, що можна сказати публічно, є новий оборонний пакет від Сполучених Штатів. Загальний обсяг – $1 200 мільйонів. Артилерія, захист від ракет і безпілотників терористів, інші речі для посилення наших захисників і захисниць. Дякую президенту Байдену, Конгресу, обом партіям та кожній американській родині за незмінну підтримку і за американську силу, яка додає нам міцності. Працюємо також і з іншими партнерами над додатковими оборонними пакетами. Додаємо нові можливості для наших воїнів. Окрема вдячність парламенту Франції за сьогоднішнє рішення щодо визнання терористичною російської псевдоприватної групи «Вагнер». Це те, що має бути ухвалено всім світом. Кожен прояв тероризму має бути знищений, а кожен терорист засуджений. І, звичайно, сьогодні, після того, як держава-терорист вкотре намагалась познущатися із наших людей та вкотре програла нашим захисникам і захисницям неба. Я дякую нашим повітряним силам та усім нашим воїнам інших родів військ, які здійснюють протиповітряну оборону. Справді молодці. Слава усім, хто захищає Україну і українців. Дякую усім, хто допомагає. Дякую усім, хто разом із нами повертає Європі мир та справедливість. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
And that is the end of the speech from President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on day 440 of the news of the war in Ukraine. And I think it's an amazing day. It's not really a victory day for Russia today. This was a victory day for everyone that supported Ukraine for 440 days. And I have to say that the little statement that Zelenskyy made in the middle of that speech about American might and American steel helping to make these victories possible that we saw today, I think that that is a great thing to think, is that the Russians are not just being defeated by the Ukrainians with old Soviet weaponry. It is American steel where the Russians have met their match. It's the steel of the Britons that once made people tremor in fear when they heard that the Royal Navy had arrived that is beating the Russians on the field right now. It is that same kind of steel that the Germans would use to give everyone a run for their money in the First and the Second World Wars, regardless whether you agreed with them or not. No one can disagree that the Germans certainly made a fine fighting machine. It was the Polish who defended their lands valiantly against those same Germans in 1939 that are providing incredible weapons that they themselves have made to put a smackdown on the Russians that we see in the war today, and the countless countries the world over that have continued to support Ukraine up until this very day, on day 440, that have made it possible for the Ukrainians to not only stop the Russians dead in their tracks since about the first month of this war, but to watch them sweep Russian forces off the field where the Russian forces are those strongest in the city of Bakhmut. It is absolutely unbelievable, and even today, on the 440th day, the Russians can't even win on this live stream, as our internet connection and the YouTube servers held, and this stream ran, and its continuousness, covering the entirety of the news from beginning to end. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable to think that we've been here for this day, and days like these are the days that I'm more than glad to know that we've been doing this for so long, to be able to experience days like this with all of y'all. They're back! They finally returned. They're giving it another run for their money. No. One second, I'll wait for it to pass. Oh, man.
I think we're back.
Yeah, I think we're back now. Man, I'm getting a kick out of tonight. Tonight's a great night. Look at them. They're coping. They're coping and they're seething. Ah! Oh, man. No, I can't even be angry tonight, because if I was on their side and I just watched the Russian army literally get swept off the field like some dust, I'd also be pissed off as well. These people can't even win here. Anyways, love it. I love to see it. And these people can't win for nothing. Oh, man. It says that we got no data. The stream's still hanging on.
And we're back again.
And we're back again. They're giving their last little bravura here. They left us alone for about an hour and a half, really. And now they're back at it. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm relishing in this right now, Matthew. And we've gotten up there high enough on the Russian radar, or at least the pro-Russian radar, that we're the target of these attacks. And I got to say, there's no greater honor than knowing that you're pissing off the enemy so badly that they specifically target your show. It's great. I love it. And so with that, we're now moving on into those polls. Those sweet, sweet polls, while the bots are literally saying, you know what? I'm going to have to bring up the crying Russian soy jack. 1 second.
Oh, soy jack.
The woe jack, the soy jack, whichever one it is. I don't know which one it is, but let me go find it. Oh, man. Let's say, let me go view the image. Let's see. Is there any way to view this image? Here we go. There we go. We'll put this up in a little window in honor of this great day. Oh, 1 second. Let me make it, shrink it down over here. Come on. There we go. Little Russian crying woe jack. Just gonna put that for the bots. It's gonna be for the bots specifically. But with that, we're now gonna be moving on into the polls. So with that, what do we got, Matthew?
All right, so moving into our polls, our very first one says, Russia has evacuated staff from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and the surrounding areas, and what are your thoughts? It looks like 40% said it's for the upcoming offensive, 39% said a nuclear disaster is likely, 15% said unsure, and 6% said it's probably nothing. And for me, I have to say that I was already concerned when I heard that Russia was evacuating the areas surrounding the power plant, but now they're actually evacuating the staff. And the IAEA learned of that on certainly seems like they're planning something or expecting something to happen that's not good at all. but I'm a little hesitant to say a nuclear disaster is likely, so I'm going to say unsure. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would have to say a nuclear disaster is most likely unlikely. I think they're probably evacuating them in preparation for the offensive. They also did something similar in Kherson, and also, well, they didn't do it in Balaklia because it was such a son. So that may be the reason why. I would go with that, in my honest opinion. And so with that, I gotta tell you this, man, they're gonna be hoarse tomorrow because I've laughed so much. I can already feel I'm gonna be hoarse. But with that, we're on to the next one. I hope I addressed that one fairly well.
Are we back? Because we went through a long period of lag.
They're getting us again. Dude, I put up the little Wojak and they freaked out. They're like, get him again. Oh my God. Oh man. Well, lesson for the Russians, whenever you do a DDoS attack, this picture is going to stay up all night, actually. This is like our garlic against DDoS attacks. It isn't really working, but it is funny nonetheless. So anyways, with that, I hope I addressed that further well. I hope y'all heard the answer to that because I think it's more so for the offensive than anything. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next poll says, real quick while I grab one thing out of the live chat there, the next poll says, do you think that Russia's Victory Day parade achieved its goal of inspiring the Russians to fight? 73% said no, it just depressed them all. 14% said it might have made their day, ? 5% said unsure, and 8% said yes, it inspired the population. And if showing off one antique tank inspires your population, you know things have hit a really, really deep low. I think it depressed most of them, if they know any better. Obviously, if you look at Putin's face, he looked like not only was he in bad health, but he also looked horrified that that's all they had to show him. Somewhat surprised look on his face, actually. So, very depressing for the Russians, but very exciting for the rest of us. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would have to say those people are damn sad. They're sad. 1 second, let me go get the picture. Let's say this one's from South China Post. And then what was funny is that there was a lot of pro-Russian people that were in the comments section. Let me just read you all some of these comments. I didn't believe it at first, but they really did only have the T-34 as the only tank that appeared on the parade. Wow. And then, of course, there's a lot of people, I'm so proud to be Russian, and all that crap, But there was actually a couple of people, let's see, and also, look at this, trying to be all snarky and shit. Congratulations to all Europeans and Americans on Russia's Victory Day, while they're getting obliterated. Yeah, thank you. We are very happy to enjoy this victory with the Ukrainians that we're having today. Let's see.
Cope.
Oh, man, the cope is strong.
Also, hop over to the Twitter, too, and show that picture of Putin looking like a poor sap over there on the side bench.
Peter, the Twitter's here. Should possibly be flooding over here next up and going, quick, go there, Blad. But let's see. Oh, man, that sack's looking rough right there. Dude, there needs to be some lotion on that. But here's the picture.
There he is. Oh, Lord.
Dude.
Oh, I'm like kind of with the conspiracy theorists at this point. This almost doesn't even look like Putin. This guy is like a whole nother facial structure.
Dude, I really think it is. I really think it may be. Someone getting the window. Dude, look at that. That really is someone getting the window, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
What's this one here? Wait.
Это чьи-то,
this is, wait a minute, hang on. This is a good meme.
McDonald's.
We gotta show this one, sir. This is a McDonald's.
А теперь слушайте меня,
Oh.
Это чьи-то, отцы и чьи-то сыновья. И те, которые не дают нам боеприпасы, будут в аду жрать их потроха,
What the hell?
That's a meme and a half right there. I like that. Oh man, but oh dang, everyone's just blasting this guy. Oh, but I think this may be a body double. To be completely honest with you, this has got to be a body double because the guy's getting swollen now. I mean, either it's bad cancer, bad gas, or it's a body double. It's got to be a body double.
Why does he look like the Russian version of Xi Jinping? It looks like he's about to say, Russian honey.
He looks like that dog that got stung by like a bee. You know that weenie dog I showed you that one time that got stung by a bee in the mouth and like the face. It looks like that. I don't know what's wrong with him really, but this is hilarious. Nonetheless, well, this guy looks better than Putin now. This guy's literally got black holes for eyes. I mean, like, really? But anyways, also, I like this guy up here who looks like he's straight from the FSB. You know he probably is, but anyways, yeah, pretty good picture. There's a lone tank for Victory Day.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, you know that guy felt like an idiot being on the only tank in the Victory Day parade? You know he felt like that.
You know he's got to be. This is just so pathetic. They can only bring out one tank. Like, really, like we've reported it, but if you really think about it, this is horrific. They only have one antique to show off.
Oh, look, OSINT. Wait a minute, is this the OSINT technical? It really is. Yeah, he left a reply to us. Ah, oh, we showed the tank. Wait, hang on. Where's the picture? Yeah. So we're gonna keep this up now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. wait, hang on. Let's see how long you think I can shrink it down. Come on, little tiny angry man. There. Been on top of the tank.
What do you call him again? What's this thing called?
A Wojak, I think it's called. I think this thing's called a Wojak.
Oh, cope with the Wojak bots. Cope.
Cope with the damn. We'll win in 3 more days. Anyways, they had 1 T-34, 10 Tiger armored cars, 6 VKP Urals, 10 VST STSs or STDs. They had 2 BTR-82s. We only saw 1. They had 6 Iskanders, 6 S-400s, 3 Topol M's, and 3 Boomerangs. That's all they had. That was the armor section. Now, compare that to last year's armor section where they actually had the T-14s, the T-90Ms. They had, I think, some other tanks as well that I can't really think of off the top of my head. The Wagner! It's the Wagner, Matthew! They're lagging us! But, man, yep, it's great. I love it. It's that addresses that fairly. Hey, we're back! Hey! Give us an LSA in the chat! But let's see what else we got that we could talk about here for a second. Oh, these are from days ago.
Nutsack.
Ugh. No lotion. Dude,
he's start posting some more memes on here, by the way.
Yeah, you gotta post some memes, man. Like, that would be nice. But, man, what a sad day for Russia. Anyways, with that, I hope we addressed that fairly well. I hope we addressed that poll fairly well. On top of that, and with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next poll says, the U.S. says they will provide $1.2 billion in long-term aid to Ukraine to bolster air defenses, and what are your thoughts? 88%, the overwhelming majority, said excellent news, send it now. 3% said unsure, 6% said what's included, and 2% said bad news, it's too much air defense. And I'm almost certain the 2% are Russian bots because Ukraine can't have enough air defense. They need all they can get. But I would say excellent news. $1.2 billion, that's a sizable sum of money for air defense. But there's also other things included in that package. And unfortunately, you'd have to do a Google search to find out because I wasn't able to research that during the stream.
Let's see here. The $1.2 billion support package. Let's see here. What does the Associated Press say is in it? Once again, take it for what it is. But the ads, man, they don't really list them.
There's got to be a list somewhere.
Reuters, maybe? Let's see. Tuesday, Ukraine will receive howitzer ammunition, counter-drone ammunition, and funding for satellite imagery, as well as various types of training, said the official. The package is paid from Ukraine's Security Assistance Initiative funding, which allows the president's administration to buy weapons from the industry rather than pull from the U.S.'s weapons stocks. So, Lockheed Martin's loving this. Lockheed Martin's loving it, man. They're like, oh, sweet. We'll pump out a couple of more. The military aid, first reported by the AP, comes as Congress and the White House debate ways to avoid a default on the whatever. I'm not reading that. Anyways.
I will say, though, I'm glad to see that it seems like our government is coming together to pass this stuff, and it's not being held up. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And also, real quick, I'll address this because we also addressed this last year about the same time. The debt, because it was a thing that we read, so now I have to address it. Nobody's going to allow the country to default on the debt ceiling. It's something that's used to freak folks out. Congress will, because they've been doing this for about the past 90 years at this point, on a regular, almost annual basis. They will raise the debt ceiling because no one's going to allow the country to default, because the fallout from that, the economic fallout, would be detrimental to everyone. So the debt ceiling will be raised again. So, it's another freak out tactic. Everyone's trying to use it to freak out people, to make them think that someone else is doing something to them. It's not anything. But anyways, moving on from that, another 1.2 billion to Ukraine to watch the Russians get beat like this. Man, I think that's good money. Hell, that's entertainment around here. So with that, I hope that addresses that fairly well, and it's great to see that the Ukrainians will be getting more aid to continue to help them to beat the Russians down until they don't even have a T-34 for the Victory Day parade next year. And so with that, we're on to the next poll, and I hope we addressed that one fairly well.
All right, and our fourth poll says Zelenskyy doubles down and calls Polish grain restrictions completely unacceptable. And what are your thoughts? 34% said I can see both sides of the argument. 32% said he's picking a bad fight. 17% said unsure, and 17% said he's 100% right. And we do recall that this has been brought up about 3 weeks ago. It wasn't directly referred to by Zelenskyy, and it looks like now he's directly gotten involved in it. And he has doubled down on his government's position that they don't agree with those grain restrictions whatsoever. Now, we do know that Poland has been a major supporter of Ukraine. They've done the most of any neighboring country to help Ukraine. So I think personally it's picking a bad fight, and it's one that could be easily overlooked considering Poland's extensive help to Ukraine. And I got to say, I disagree with the position that's being taken here. But Enforcer, what say you?
I'm going to say that's a bad fight to pick. I usually support Ukraine on everything they do, but a country has an inherent interest. And why in the hell is Creative Cloud telling me crap? But anyways, every single country has an inherent interest in protecting its own economy. And it's not smart to chastise a country for not wanting to protect their economy. If Zelenskyy was in this position, if Poland was in a war and Ukraine was in this position, I would not fault Ukraine for doing the exact same thing to Poland if the situation was reversed and the countries were flipped around. That is a fact of life, and I don't think that the Polish should jeopardize the livelihoods of their own farmers and their own agricultural industry as an industrial sector to support the Ukrainians, because it is through the success of their own national economy, like that agricultural sector, that the Polish have the money and have the wealth to be able to hand weapons to the Ukrainians as freely as they want and help them to continue to win this war. So I'd have to once again back up the Polish in this fight. Well, not really in this fight, but more in this argument, that they have an inherent interest and an inherent right in protecting their farmers and their economic interests, considering that those are their citizens, and Poland has to look out for Polish people first and foremost. So with that, I hope that does address that very well. I mean, like, if the Ukrainians wanted a solution to this, I'm sure the United States could provide a solution. Maybe even the Germans could provide a solution. They could buy the grain at incredibly cheap price, and we could start to distribute that wherever the hell we want. Because one thing that a lot of people don't think about is, much like us buying oil from foreign countries gives us a little bit of a backhand into what they do, sending food to people also gives us a little bit of a backhand into what folks do. And so we could start to use that food support to do things around the world, like give food to countries that are kind of indifferent or maybe unfriendly to us, and that might start to turn their opinion around of us, where they go, hey, at least on the governmental level, which is really the only level that counts, hey, these people are actually not that bad. They're pretty nice folks. So with that, I hope that does address that poll fairly well, but I'd have to back up the Polish in this. I think the Polish have a right to protect their own farmers and their own economic interests. Speaking of something interesting, Matthew, I was watching a video last night, since I've seen some people talking about the debt ceiling a little bit, and everyone's pretty much agreed with me. Obviously, they're not going to, ever default on the debt, because that would be detrimental to everything. But I saw some people talking about that, and I watched a political campaign ad from 1940 last night, during the 1940 presidential election. And it was from, and of course the political parties back then were the same, but I'll just tell you which one it was. It was the Republican Party that ran this ad in 1940, and they were talking about
Look at the national debt. It is rising at an exponential rate.
And it had gone from $17 billion to $55 billion, which when you think about that over like a 4-year stint, that is a massive increase. I mean, like, hell, that honestly looks like the debt increase we see nowadays, you know, relative to scale. And so the guy sat there and said this.
They are not default. They are considering defaulting on the loan, and if they do that, it is going to have detrimental consequences to this great country.
And I was like, "What the hell?" They were talking about it back then in 1940. This has been a thing that's been going on forever. And if you ever worry about that, don't, because nobody. I'll tell you this: we always talk about we never talk about politics actually, but when we do, we make it an equal thing. Neither side is going to allow the other one or allow themselves to default on that debt, because that is going to be detrimental to the national economy. There's no other way to look at it. The nation would practically implode on itself at that point. So they will bump up that debt ceiling, however high they need to go.
There's no reason not to bump it up, because it's basically an imaginary number at this point. It's not backed up by anything. So how does it hurt them to raise the thing rather than use it to for a negotiation point, basically?
Yes, and so that they're not going to default on it. If you hear that in the news, remember, the news is there to keep you watching, and one way to keep you watching is to make you think the national economy is literally about to go down the drain. So if you ever hear... Yeah, it's not. If you ever hear that from a news company, never watch that news company again, because they're just trying to feed off of your fears. That's not going to happen. Also, someone said, is that going to be for everything? Oh, yeah, it will, because the debt's always going to be rising. Debt is always rising almost at a constant rate for every single country around the world. So they're always going to have to be raising the debt ceiling. And it's always going to get close to where the debt ceiling isn't raised, but they'll raise it right in time. So, you know, and I got to tell you, having a bachelor's in history, that is the way it's always gone. That is the historical trend. They'll never default on the debt. They'll never not raise the debt ceiling. So don't fear about that. So with that, we are on to the next one. I hope we addressed that side note fairly well.
All right, and with that being said, we are fresh out of polls, so y'all know what time it is. It's time to move on to our Super Chat questions. And up first, we have a $50 donation from Harvey Dent. And Harvey, thank you very much for that very generous support, and sadly, he does not leave a comment. But Enforcer, what say you?
I got to thank you so much, Harvey, for that support. You didn't throw in a comment, so sadly we can't address any question you have, but the support means a lot to us and helps this thing to keep on rolling. If it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't have been able to get to such a great day as today, to be able to watch the Ukrainians obliterate Russian forces where they're their strongest, and also to watch Victory Day be the lamest Victory Day in history. And so thank you so much once again for the support. Of course, didn't leave a comment, but the support means a lot, and helping this channel to keep on running, and also being a part of the Sleep Spring Army. And so with that, we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again.
Yes, indeed. And the next one goes to Daniel Rodas, who puts in a $50 Super Chat, and thank you very much, Daniel, for the support. And he says, Happy Europe Day.
And Happy Europe Day. And thank you so much for the support. It's good to hear that it is Europe Day. I didn't know it was Europe Day. Is it Europe Day? Is it Europe Day?
It's Victory Day.
Interesting.
Oh, it's Europe Day.
It's celebrating peace and unity in Europe. Celebrated on the 5th of May by the Council of Europe and on the 9th of May by the European Union. The first recognition of Europe Day was by the Council of Europe, introduced in 1964.
Is there an America Day?
That's the 4th of July. America.
I mean, we need one called America Day if they have Europe Day.
Yeah, I guess. I think the 4th of July fits the bill, though. Honestly, like 4th of July, you can't get any better than that. The 4th of July, it's the best holiday. It's the number one holiday. Nothing gets better. People have been saying Europe Day is trying to get on up there, but Europe Day is weak, low energy. Just can't top it. I'm just kidding. But anyways, it is Europe Day. So happy Europe Day to all of the Europeans out there in Europe. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support and allowing us to address that. And also thank you for helping this channel to keep on rolling, Daniel, because folks like you who support this channel help this thing to keep rolling. No matter whether the support be big or small, every bit counts in helping this channel to keep on going so that we can get to days like these. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support.
All right, and our next one goes to Hal Rose, who puts in a $33 Super Chat, and thank you, Hal, for the very generous support. And Hal says, the one-tank parade shows how badly the Russian...
Wait, let me get the picture. Cope. Cries.
Show the picture.
Show the picture. Show the picture. Look.
Whoa, whoa, Jack.
Whoa, Jack. Whoa. Say the line. Say the line, Russian. Whoa, Jack. Another 3 days and we'll win. Another 3 days. We'll wait for the lag to pass. Oh man, I'm loving it though. Oh man. All right. So with that, I think we're on to the next one now, aren't we?
Did we go through the one from Hal Rose?
Oh yeah, well no, we didn't. And I have to agree with you completely, Hal. The Russians have been hollowed out completely. Like this little guy right here, 3 more days. But I would certainly have to agree with you. And I thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are now going to be moving on to that live chat question that you asked. And always, everyone, always remember, this is the Russian bot that's behind every single screen. It's this one right here. It's every single time. It's a guarantee. And so with that, let's go get a live chat.
All right, and the live chat question, sponsored by Hal Rose, goes to Mark, Colonel of the LSA. And he says, I thought the modern Western stuff was being kept for the counteroffensive. And does this mean it has started? And very good question.
Very good question. It may have. It's so weird, though, because if their counteroffensive is happening in Bakhmut, that's the craziest place to do it. Because most of the Russian army's there. I'm not going to get into that because it might be an OPSEC thing. But if that is where they're going, that is ambitious as hell. And if they are able to pull off what I think they're doing, we may see the largest victory in the 21st century, at least from what we've seen right now. Very interesting question, though, because they did say up until this point that they were saving those modern Western vehicles for the counteroffensive, and then we saw one there, and it was a Bradley. The first Bradley ever that we've ever seen do anything like that. And I love, Matthew, how the Russians saw it, and they literally just got up and ran. Like, they just... Yeah. They sat there. One guy was probably an observer, like, during the Gulf War, and watched those Bradleys slaughter the Iraqis, and he saw that thing, and he said... Oh shit, it's right. And then he just got up and ran. Because that enemy
was the smartest thing they could have done.
Dude, it was. But I think the funniest thing was when that tank came rolling through that trench line and those 10 Russians were literally running away from it, just straight in front of the tank. That whole video was hilarious. I mean, they literally just swept them off the field. Like, and I keep on saying that, but that's literally what they did. It was on the film. And up until tonight, Matthew, all those smug know-it-alls were sitting there saying, on both of the clips I showed, yesterday and today before the stream, the short war summaries, all those smug little know-it-alls, and I'm not saying everyone who watched those videos were smug, by the way, I'm just saying there was a few of them in the comments, sitting there going, this guy's saying this, that's not proof. Said it both about the Terror Commander and Prigozhin saying the same thing. And then we show it tonight, and we actually have the video footage of them running away, like the actual footage of the front line collapsing. And I didn't see a word about that.
It sounds like coping bots.
Honestly, it kind of does sound like coping bots. It's they sat there and said, source? Like, I'm about to show you the source of this ass beating, right? It's just here. Here's a clip. But anyways, with that, I hope we addressed that fairly well. And I think that may be the counteroffensive market, because if that is the mark of the counteroffensive, is that modern Western vehicles are used, that's it. Then they're there. And so with that, I hope that addresses that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for the support, Hal, and allowing us to answer that live chat. And with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you so much once again for support and helping us keep this channel running. And of course, I can't wait for the Russians to get to the Ukrainians to get to Rostov-on-Don. And so
watch relics parade by, after which some had to be carted away. And pick a question,
wait,
please.
We're getting lagged! We're getting lagged. Hang on a minute. We gotta wait for it to come back. Oh, it looks like we're back now. We're gonna keep this up for a minute. So reread that one off again real quick, because I'm not sure if they were able to hear it or not.
And Hal said, Enforcer, seeing the parade today was like watching relics parade by, after which some had to be carted away, and pick a chat question, please.
And I would have to agree with you, Hal. Those little the sad crap that they had out there, it was pitiful. And, you know, they were saying that they were reducing the parade for safety reasons. It's like, if it's a safety reason, I feel like the armored tanks driving down the street are probably the safest things in the parade, instead of the massive formations of infantry that were marching down the square. You know, it seemed like that tells you that that was just a BS excuse for not having any armor there, because there's none left. But I would certainly have to agree with you. It was pitiful. The whole parade was pitiful from start to finish. I watched a decent bit of it today, and even the units that they had involved in the parade, it was almost entirely made up of cadets, which tells you also a lot about how little, I guess you could say, of age Russian soldiers there are, because most of the units were cadet units. So with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for support, Hal, and helping this channel to keep on rolling. Your support does help. Every bit of support to this channel always helps us to keep this thing rolling. We're so appreciative for y'all because we've been able to run everything we do ad-free, sponsor-free. Every single thing we've ever done on this channel has been ad-free and sponsor-free, except for a few of the videos, because it helps, like, videos that are like 12 minutes long. The only way for them to get supported in the algorithms is to run an ad on them, which is stupid, and I don't like it. But we've run everything ad-free. Hell, even the war summaries that we went back to doing, which I'll show one. Well, actually, I'll show them all right here. So, let me go grab them, and let me drag it over. I mean, hell, y'all's support here on this stream helps me to be able to run these videos, these short war summaries right here, completely ad-free. These we had to run ads on because for some reason YouTube hardly promotes them, and then running ads just gets them that little extra bit of promotion. These, however, no ads. We've ran every single short war summary with no ads since we started them way back in the day around day 80. Thanks to y'all's support. Y'all make this entire channel ad-free and sponsor-free thanks to y'all's support. And I got to thank y'all so much for chipping in a little bit of support and helping us to keep this thing running. And so thank you so much once again, Hal. I hope that does address that fairly well. And we are on to the next one. And thank you once again.
All right, and our next one goes to Dieter Herfert, who puts in a $27 donation, and thank you, Dieter, very much for the support. They said, take a question from the chat, please. And Dieter, of course we will. And the question goes to, let's see here, looks like it's going to go to Happy Dragon, who says, if Ukraine takes all of Bakhmut back, do you think Putin will be looking for a way to gracefully end his military operation?
I don't think he will. This guy is such an insane nut. He would rather watch the Russian army literally go down to having nothing than lose. And then, of course, he'll lose anyways, but then he'll have nothing. I think that he'll keep the war going even if they get decisively defeated in Bakhmut. You know what? I'll say this. I'll actually tell you what I'm thinking here, because if this is where the offensive begins, and I'm thinking about it, I don't want to really say it, but I'll say it. I should say it, shouldn't I, Matthew?
Say where you think the offensive is going to begin?
Yeah, what I think it'll culminate in if this is where it's happening.
Maybe, because it is just a guess after all. It's not like you know that for a fact.
We don't have any actual knowledge about... It looks like a pincer to me, kind of like what happened in Stalingrad. It looks like the Ukrainians are going to try and spin around both sides more into the area of Popasna and most likely encircle the entire... They're doing it again! We love to see it. We love to see it.
Show them the Wojak.
There it is. We got the Wojak. But I think they're going to try. I think they're going to try and encircle him. And at this point, it appears that the Russians are completely helpless to this. That it might actually happen. So with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. And we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on rolling.
All right, and up next we have a $20 super chat from none other than Psyops. And thank you, Psyops, for the support. He says, show the picture I sent in the DMs, and I found another angle of the tank in the victory parade. And he says it's safe for stream.
And let me make sure. I have to. Now, I trust you, Silas, but I have to make sure. So let me go check.
I actually have to go nab it real quick and send it to you because I think it's in my DMs.
Yeah, it's in your DMs, not my DMs. So we'll be waiting for that one. And while we're waiting, I think we got a little lag. Wait. Oh man, you know, I ought to bring this thing every single night, so whenever we have a lag problem I just throw that up. Oh man, you know the little bot idiots are just seething, and they probably even get be seething. Oh, look at that. They lost again. What is that, the 9th time tonight?
Oh, we're back.
Hey, we're back, dude. That's the 9th time they must have lost tonight. Look at it, little Russian Wojak. Dude, we need to add like an extra little tear streak every single time they fail a DDoS. By the end of the day, his whole face will be blue.
Yes, and also those pictures are in your DMs, by the way.
In your DMs. Let's see what they look like. We go to the right one. Yeah, oh yeah, these are good. We're gonna show them. Oh man, I'll see you around, Russian Wojak. Say the line. 3 more days. All right, let's pop up. All right. Special.
How come I can't see it?
Because remember, I'm only streaming the Chrome and thing.
Oh.
It's not the screen. Because if I streamed the screen, you wouldn't be able to hear the audio on the Chrome.
True.
So it says Special Forces came here on the short tank. I gotta say that is brutal, actually. To call the tank a short tank, and also here is a Russian tank that was present at the Victory Day parade. It was the only one, actually, and it's a little firecracker tank. We love to see it. We love to see it. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support, Saps, and also showing us these amazing insights on the Victory Day Parade, and of course, supporting this channel and helping us to keep this thing running. Folks like you, Psyops, who have been around forever, literally as long as I can remember, have been a huge part, an integral part of the culture of this channel, a part of the LSA, and also supporters of this channel, and have helped us to keep this thing running. And I gotta say, it's never been better to run a stream than today. Honestly, I can't really remember when I felt like this through the war. Of course, I felt like this several times, like when Kherson was liberated, but that was so long ago. That was 6 months ago, a half year ago at this point. And now, again, we get to feel like that today. And I got to thank you so much once again, Sives, for supporting this channel and being here with us tonight on such a special day. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope you enjoyed us looking at those on Discord. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support.
All right, and our next one goes to Psyops yet again. He puts in another $20 super chat, and thank you once again, Psyops, for that. He says, best joke I've ever heard, best skit I've ever seen is Orc Victory Day. If that's what victory looks like, I don't think Russia can handle defeat. Here's 2 to the collapse of the Russian state. This round of root beer is on me. And he puts in 5 beer pint mugs, I think.
Hey! And speaking of which, I thank you so much for the support. But what is the best flavor of root beer? Well, what's the best brand of root beer?
I was about to say, root beer is the flavor.
The root beer is the flavor, idiot. But what is the best brand of root beer?
Let's see, you got Borks, you got Mugs, I can't remember the other one. IBC,
Dad's root beer.
Oh, Dad's makes some?
Yeah, Dad's root beer. Have you ever had some? We've had it here before. Dad's root beer.
Maybe.
This right here.
Oh yeah, that stuff. Yeah, I've had that before.
Now that's the good stuff right there. I think that's honestly my favorite root beer brand.
It's pretty good. I think I like IBC the best, although it has like enough sugar to like kill somebody.
Now IBC is really good too. And I see a lot of people saying A and W. Cliff H, he repping the set. Hey, IBC all the way. But honestly, I would have to say I'm a big fan of Dad's root beer. Really, it's a smaller brand, but I still like it. But a lot of everyone has very taste for root beer, and you can only get like. Root beer is a very, very specific thing to a person for taste. I don't know what it is, but I feel like root beer is the most pickiest drink as far as what people enjoy about root beer. You know, like you can find like 10 people, gather them all together and ask them what their favorite root beer brand is, and almost everyone's going to say something different. But I think that's cool, actually. And where in the world, the origin of root beer, where did it come from? Because I have a feeling it's an exclusively American thing. Colonists used sassafras and sarsaparilla roots, among other local plants, to brew a type of small beer they unimaginatively named root beer. So it is American.
Hey, wait a minute. It says colonists did not drink root beer to get drunk. Oh, well, if it doesn't have any alcohol in it, how can they get drunk off of it?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I'm wondering how that works, really. Let's see. Did the original root beer have alcohol? The traditional root beer was usually alcoholic, whereas modern root beer is rarely fortified with ethanol and is a favorite of kids everywhere. But root beer...
I bet it's a favorite of kids if it had the alcohol in it, too.
Oh, man, dude. Kids would love that, man. You'd have that little kid at McDonald's. They'd be going, hi, can I take your order? Yeah, can I get a Happy Meal with root beer? No, kid, it's got alcohol in it. What, are you crazy or something? Go have, like, meth. Anyways, yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. But it says American as a hot dog. That's pretty weird. I actually thought it'd be from somewhere else. But anyways, man, that's actually cool to think about. Anyways, with that, thank you so much once again for the support and the root beer fund. I love root beer, honestly. We don't have it a lot, but I really do like it. And also, Matthew, what was the rest of his super chats, just so that we make sure to address that part?
Oh, he was just making fun and clowning on the Russians for their fake victory day.
Wait a minute.
Brandon Wojak.
Come on, little Russell Wojak, say the line. Just 3 more days, we'll win in 3 more days. Oh man, we love to see him, and there he goes. We'll keep him around though, so that we when the next DDoS attack happens, he'll pop back up. But with that, we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And so with that, we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again for helping this channel out and helping us to keep it rolling.
Yes, indeed. And up next, we have a $20 super chat from David L. And thank you, David, for the support. He says, please like, comment, and share. And man, he's repping the channel.
Man, he's repping the set. And I got to thank you so much for the support, David L. And if y'all could, make sure to like and comment on the stream because it helps it to reach more people. It helps other folks to know out there that haven't known what the Enforcer is yet. How we spite Russian bots, how we cover the news. It lets them know what it is. Because if YouTube sees all the likes on a stream or a video, they say, hey, a lot of people are loving this and we need to show this to more folks. And so it helps this channel to reach out to more people. So make sure to hit that like and also make sure to comment because that also does help out as well. Like YouTube has like some kind of a viewer to comment ratio. And if that ratio is high, they also promote it to more people. So if you comment and if you like, it helps out a lot. But moving on from that, I also have to thank you so much for repping the subscribe thing because while I don't ever say it a lot on stream, I only say it about twice when we end the news segment and when we end the stream. Subscribing is also a huge honor to us. It brings a smile to our faces when people subscribe to our channel because we love to know that our work is of a high enough quality that it meets the standard to where y'all would be happy enough to subscribe. So with that, I got to thank you so much once again, David L., for repping that set. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again for supporting this channel as well.
All right. And up next, we have a $20 super chat from Rico NEU. I'm not sure how to say it, but Rico, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. And sadly, no comment to address. But, Enforcer, what say you?
I got to say, thank you, Rico, for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And folks like you do make it possible. And so thank you so much once again. I hope we addressed that fairly well. And we are on to the next one. And thank you once again for the support.
And the next one goes to Augustin Lara, who puts in a $20 super chat. And thank you, Augustin, for the support. He says, Salud. I can't believe they only had 1 tank for their entire parade. And congrats on your graduation to the both of you. Long live the lizard people. And don't think we forgot the day you admitted it.
And thank you so much for the support. Of course, Matthew and me do like chilling on hot rocks. Matthew can back that up.
Hot rocks, yeah.
Okay, well, go kick rocks. I'm just kidding. But
anyway.
Damn, son, where'd you find this? But anyways, thank you so much for the support. And also for supporting us lizard people. Of course, when you start to say things that people don't like, for some reason, you automatically become an inhuman animal of some kind. So that's always a fun thing. And also, I thank you so much for congratulating us on graduating. It's actually been a little bit since we graduated. I think that was on like the 29th of April. So it's been about 10 days now, but we're more than happy to receive the congratulations. And I thank you so much for that. And I also thank you for enjoying the stream because I love to know that people do find this stream worthwhile and they find it worth watching. And they also find us to be a quality source of news. And I think tonight more than ever, we proved by how much the Russians wanted to shut us down how much of a quality source of news we are, because they actually went out of their way to try and DDoS attack us into hell. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope that does address that fairly well. And we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next one goes to Charlie Nickel. He puts in a $20 super chat, and thank you very much, Charlie, for the support. He says, let's see, EV jet lag, can't think. So please take a question from the live chat, and long live the LSA.
And long live the LSA. And thank you so much once again, Charlie, for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we'll make sure to get a live chat. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support, Charlie. And also thank you for the cool shirts, by the way. We still like the shirts. I actually have one right by my desk right now. And so with that, we are on to that live chat. And so what do we got, Matthew?
All right, and the live chat question goes to Danny, who says, did you see where a Polish mayor literally fell out of a window? And I hadn't heard about that.
No, I haven't. I'll try and pull that up off stream. But I have not heard about a Polish mayor falling out of a window. I'm pretty sure that was an accident because at the same time, like Polish people Like, I don't know what it is with them, but every once in a while they do something a little weird. And, you know, everyone does it. It's just that whenever you see another country do it, you only hear about that one weird story. Like, in America, you hear all of the weird stories, so it just kind of blends in with the, like, static. It's like, oh, you know, the Florida man has kidnapped people and forced them to figure out how to, like, sew monkey nuts onto some alligators. I mean, you know, it's like, that's just normal here. But when you hear about a Polish police chief getting an AT-4 from the Ukrainians and accidentally firing it off in the office building, you know, it's like, well, that's weird. But you know, that's kind of in that category. I wouldn't doubt that it happened at all. And I'm gonna have to pull it up and try and check it out. But with that,
I don't know, somebody falling out of a window. I mean, that seems a little unlikely, and especially since the Russians are known to use that.
Wait a minute, hang on, Matthew. That seems sus. Bum bum.
Oh man.
Oh man. But let's see. I honestly, I don't think it was a Russian thing. The guy may have accidentally fallen out of the window, because if it's on film, we will be able to see what happened. But we will make sure to check it out. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for support and helping this channel to keep on running.
And up next, we have a $20 super chat from Yachtmaster. We also have a $20 super chat from Marion Deemert, who says, "Bots be gone." And big thanks to both of you, Yachtmaster and Marion, for that very generous support. And Enforcer, what say you?
And thank you so much to both of y'all, Yachtmaster and Marion Deemert, for the support. Does that mean that Marion Deemert is now a Yachtmaster?
Yes, welcome to the yacht club.
They're going to go around seizing Putin's yachts and stuff.
Yes.
Still, thank
the
you.
yacht master. That's the person that works at the dock that goes and takes the boats. Like, we'll have that now.
Dude, you go up to the like yacht marina in London and you go, "Wow, these are a bunch of nice yachts. Who owns these?" "I do." And then you look over and it's the yacht master. Like, he has a sign above his chair that says yacht master. "I took him from the Russians." Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. But anyways, thank you to both of y'all for the support and helping this channel to keep on running, because both of y'all are helping us to be able to keep on covering this news. And if it wasn't for support from folks like y'all, this wouldn't be possible. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you to both of y'all so much once again.
And the next one goes to Jose Diaz, who puts in a $20 super chat. And thank you, Jose, for the support. He says, "Glory to free Ukraine from Arecibo, Puerto Rico. And may God bless all of our Ukrainian brothers and sisters." And he puts in a whopping 10 Ukrainian flags.
Hey! And thank you so much for the support, Jose Diaz, and the Ukrainian flags. We still love our Ukrainian flag from the 231st, and that video will be filmed on our end soon, and the drone will be on the way out. You know what? I think we'll put a picture of the... Well, actually, no, that we'd have to unbox it. That's a part of the filming process. It's right over there. So the filming will...
Flag.
Oh, we got to whip him out! Whip him out! Oh, get away, Bobby gone. But let's see here. How bad is it? Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Well, let's leave the little low jack up. Oh, God. Oh, man. The Russians really think they're getting us. They're like, "Oh, we're going to get them now." It's like, what? Is this the 12th time? You know, if I was doing this, I would make sure it's good enough I get you the first time, not the 12th time. I just saw it pop up on the replay, Matthew, because, you know, there's a little bit of a lag in between us and the stream. It just popped up there.
Whoa, Jack, whoa.
Whoa, hey, Jack. Don't push up. Whoa, Jack. 3 more days. Whoa. Let's see. We should be back by now, hopefully. Yeah, we're back. All right.
I think we're back.
And so with that, we're going to leave the little whoa jack up here. Whoa, Jack, whoa! But anyways, let me whip that up there. All right, and so with that, where were we?
Oh, man, we're back to lag again, I think.
Oh, man. Well, hey, man, he's still here. He's still here. The Wojak's still here. Come on, Wojak. Say the line. Just 3 more days, man. Just 3 more days and we'll win. Yeah. Oh, he's a funny little guy. I love the Russian Wojak. Man, look at he's got a little lapel and everything. Dang, this one's actually happening for a while. Oh, wait, we're back. All right, so we can keep on going.
Man, you just went 100 miles an hour again.
Oh, well, you know what they say. Sometimes you just got to go fast. And so with that, where were we, Matthew?
We were actually, I think, moving on to our next super chat, if I'm correct.
I think we may be. And so before we move on, I still want to thank you so much for the support. Hopefully we addressed your comment. If we didn't, let us know, and we'll make sure to circle back. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and the next one goes to Psyops once again, and he puts in a $20 super chat this time. And thank you so much, Psyops. That is very generous support. And he says, this is for the LSA Gus Pritchett. He took on a Russian propagandist today and won, and the propagandist was anti-Semitic. Please give him an attaboy. And the LSA loves all people, not orc, regardless of color or creed, and Slava Ukraini.
And Slava Ukraini. And thank you so much for the support. And very interesting to hear that they got anti-Semitic. Way to say that you're not a Nazi. Because I thought that was like the whole thing the Nazis are known for. But still, I got to give you an attaboy for that. I got to say, attaboy. Go ahead, Matthew. Say it.
No, attaboy. Attaboy.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Attaboy. Me and my beautiful wife Camilla would like to tell you attaboy. But anyways, I do thank you so much for the support. And yes, the Elite Spring Army is for anyone and everyone out there. As long as you support Ukraine, we're happy to have you. We even have Russians here, and they're pro-Ukrainian. And so with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and up next, big shout out to BC Skyman once again. He puts in another 20, and also shout out to Dupper Bob and John Clark, as well as David L. They each put in a 10, and they all said, Slava Ukraine.
And to all of y'all, Slava Ukraini. And thank you to every single one of y'all for the support and helping this channel to keep on running, because folks like y'all help this thing to be possible. And if it wasn't for y'all's support, this channel wouldn't be possible. Y'all help us to make all this ad-free and sponsor-free. Y'all help us to run this thing unlike anyone else on YouTube can. A lot of people on YouTube, they run ads. I mean, hell, they also take in super chats too. But a lot of people run ads and sponsors. And they try and... I mean, hell, they monetize the hell out of that stuff. And we've been able to run this thing for 440 days, thanks to y'all's generosity. And I got to thank y'all so much once again for it. And also, once again, Slava Ukraini. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Hal Rose once again, who puts in a 20 once again. And thank you, Hal, for the support. And says, Enforcer, tonight is victory night for the LLC. We could not have done that, we could have not done that last year. That's why I ordered the bot mug last.
Dan, help me. Dan, I cannot help you. Dan. Oh shit, I gotta go back up. I'm getting my ass beat.
Oh, damn.
Wait, hang on. What if there's a Katarov? Whoa, Jack, hang on. Oh my god.
Is there one?
Not a good one, sadly, but there was one. But it's like the Chad version of the Wojak, and that's kind of stupid.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute. We got a Chechen Doomer Wojak. Hang on, let me go get that one.
A Chechen Doomer.
Yeah, this is getting into the rare level memes here, I'm supposing. But let's see here. Hang on. We got to go to Wojak Paradise. Apparently, there's a whole website dedicated to these things. Oh my god! Oh my god, they got 1 million of these things!
Whoa, Jack, take it easy.
Whoa, Jack! Look at this! Dude, it's literally a website dedicated to these things.
It says, it's a bloody Wojak gallery.
Dude, look. It's category Doomer. Direct link, click me. Tags Chechnya 1990 to 2000. So it's been the Chechen Wars. What the hell? They actually have these things categorized like little minifigures or something.
That's wild.
That's wild. Dude, this is what the dang. Wait. United States. Oh my god, they have 1 million of these things.
Dear Lord.
Dude, this is crazy. This is new to me. Dang. American Soldier in Iraq, Pioneer, American GI, CAA Chad. This is weird. Anyways, I didn't even know they had that many Wojaks, but anyways, that's that. Where were we, Matthew?
I think we were about to talk about Hal Rose ordering that bot mug from last year, but I can't remember for certain.
Yes. And I would have to say it wouldn't be possible without all of y'all and folks like you, Hal, who supported this channel and have made this possible all the way up until today. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And I hope you sip out of that mug real nice and good, because tonight is the night of Russian tears. And that mug ought to be filled 3 times over. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running.
Yes, indeed. And up next, we have a $20 super chat from Robert McIver, and he says, at Matt and Enforcer, screw DDoS bots, yeah?
Yeah, boss.
Oh, no.
Thank you so much for the support. And screw those bots. That's why we got Wojak up here, Matthew. Say the line. Say the line.
Whoa, Jack, whoa.
No, it's 3
What
more
line?
days. 3 more days. 3 more days. We'll win. 3 more days, man. But with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again.
And if you have a Russian bots mug, take a sip. But up next, we have a $20 super chat from Joseph M. Sika. And thank you, Joseph, for the support. And it's good to see you once again. He says, other night, you were talking about how you do your streams. And the first question I ever asked you guys was, how do you prepare for your streams? And it dawned on me that you guys must do so much. Wicked amazing what you guys do for Ukraine.
It's all right. We're back. All right, we're back. I
Man,
think.
you starting to sound like that rabbit off that Disney cartoon.
Hey, watch it. We're about to have attorneys. Attorneys are gonna pop up. That we, I think, are on to the next one. I think. Are we?
I don't think anyone got to hear Joseph's super chat, so I'm going to reread it one more time just to make sure. Joseph said, other night you were talking about how you do your streams, and the first question I ever asked you was, how do you guys prepare for your streams? And it dawned on me that you guys do so much, and wicked amazing for how do you guys prepare for your streams? And it dawned on me that you guys do so much, and wicked amazing for what you guys do for Ukraine.
And I thank you so much for enjoying what we do for Ukraine. We do a decent amount. Matthew works a pretty good deal on the Twitter. In fact, he's really the sole runner of the Twitter. But recently, I've actually hopped down in the DMs and answered a couple of DMs myself. And I always make sure to put a little dash the enforcer behind it, so that way y'all know it's not Matthew, because Matthew is going to be the one who's almost always talking to everyone on Twitter. But I'll be the one, every once in a while, I'll hop in. Most of my work is on the videos that we're now putting up on the channel again, which take about, believe it or not, for that 2-minute video, it takes about an hour to make one. So it's a pretty laborious process to make that thing, because you got to get the video, like you got to get the audio right, and then get the video clips and put them all together. Then you got to export to make a thumbnail and all that stuff. So it takes about an hour. And then this is about 3 hours of prep before we even go live, and then another 3 to 3.5 hours live on air. So it's a pretty sizable amount. And then, of course, afterwards, we come over the analytics, and then look at the emails. Although we changed the emails so that way they would show up elsewhere. We still get emails in the actual account email, and then I make sure to go through and look at those. And usually we get sponsors in that one. I don't know why in the world they still send emails to that one, since we have a different email listed now on the channel, but we still get them, and then I tell them, hey, we don't take sponsors right now. You know, just in case, you know, if we actually do make videos like gun review videos where we may put in sponsors, you know, and you know, I sit there and tell them, we'll try and find a slot for y'all in the future or something. But yes, it is a pretty lengthy process to make this thing. We do it all for y'all, the Lee Spring Army, and also for Ukraine as well, because that fundraiser we ran on Sunday was proof that even this far into the war, we are still able to knock fundraisers clean out of the park. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support, and thank you for the kind words as well. They do mean a lot to us. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for helping this channel to keep on running.
Yes, indeed. And up next, we have a $10 super chat from Carson Larimore, who says, I was hoping that they let Tony drive in the parade, but I'm sure that Putler said no, because they had a mobile nuclear launcher in there. And but Carson, that's attributing common sense. They would let Tony drive if the mobile nuke launcher was in there. That would be the time they'd love him to drive, actually.
Dude, they'd be going, Bliet. give him the keys, Bliet. Dude, you know how they deal with drunk drivers in Russia?
They let him drive again.
Yeah, dude, they're in like the whatever the hell it's called, like the pub, the bar, whatever it is, and they see a drunk guy over there that's like slumped over the bar, and he's like covered in vomit. And they go, oh bliat, give him some car keys. Don't leave him sitting there.
Oh bliat, would you like to drive right now?
You got a lot outside with your name on it. Oh really? Yeah, you just got to drive, bliat. And then they put him in there. They just stick a brick on the accelerator and let him go to town. But anyways.
Or they put him in the Lada, put the brick on the accelerator, and Prigozhin's down the street.
Soilu! Nebori, ne popasna!
Oh, Nutsack was killed by a Lada. What an unfortunate mess.
It was very sad. Killed by a drunk driver. Terrible tragedy. But anyways, that I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And we're on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Mamba Mentality, who puts in a $10 super chat. And that must be a hell of a mentality if you have one like a Mamba. But seriously, though, thank you for the support.
Man, he got
and
that
if Wagner,
Mamba in him.
If Wagner were wise, they would leave now, and their unit are losing troops in large amounts. And by the time Wagner get the ammo, if they ever get it, 99.9% will be wiped out, and May 10th is tomorrow. I'm just saying.
And May 10th is tomorrow. And they said, and you heard it. Let me go get it, actually. I got to get this because I got to back this up with clear video evidence. Because I'm not going to have people going, where do you say that? Source? Because I know there's going to be like 4 people that probably say that. And I'm going to silence that now. So. Let's see here.
Man, this guy's ugly.
I know. Let's see. If there was no ammunition. Oh yeah. If there is no ammunition, then we will leave the position and ask the question, who is the one who is changing the motherland? He said it right there. Even today, he's adamant that the Wagner will leave the line, even if they're going to be charged with treason. He said that right there. And it seems as though he may be trying to play it as smart as he can. He's going to be killed either way at this point. Might as well go out trying to go with the chance that gives him a unlikely option of survival than no chance of survival at all. And he said it right there. We will leave the position and ask the question, who is the one who is changing the motherland? And he said if there's no ammunition, they still don't have any. So with that, I thank you so much once again for support. It seems as though they may be trying to move for that smart option here in a minute, and then we'll see how smart it really was for him. And so with that, we're on to the next one. And thank you once again for the support, and I hope that addressed that fairly well.
And I saw Edgy number 1 say ugly. You haven't seen Mikhail Mizintsev, or however you say his last name. No, we have seen him. He's not necessarily ugly per se, but he is creepy as hell, though. This guy has no blood. Look at him.
Oh, God.
Jeez, man.
1 second. Hang on. I got to get the sound that plays whenever I see this picture. You're going to love this one, Anthony. Here it is.
Yes, that's perfect. He's got those serial killer looks.
Now, this guy is still not as bad as Prigozhin. In all honesty, he's just not. Now, he's creepy as hell, yes. If he was a small doll, I'd say this thing's possessed. I'd say he's possessed now, even without being a small doll. But this guy is scary as hell. I won't disagree with you on that.
Wait, go back. Go back. I want to show you something. Go click the images again. Click on the last image. You know, this guy looks like that monster off of Monsters, Inc. after, that suction device got on him.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
I think we pulled that up. One second. Monsters, Inc. Yeah, we pulled that up before. It shows up in my search. It says Monsters, Inc. lip sucking machine. Let me go get it. Oh, yeah. 1 second. Let me shrink it down so that way it can fit over there.
Oh my God!
It's a spit.
Oh no!
Oh, boy, blimey, mate! It's a spit image.
Oh, they didn't want to stay in that.
Hit the Wojak! Hit the Wojak! Oh man, just say the line, Russian Wojak. Say it, man.
Whoa! I forget the line. What the hell's the line?
3 more days, Blitz. It's 3 more days. Oh man, now we can't get through it again. Oh, they lost. They lost already. It seems like the stream looked fine. One second, let me go back and make sure. Yeah, it's fine. We're already back. Look at that. Oh man.
Oh man, he does look just like that monster though. Like he looks just like him.
He really does. And this guy was a bad guy in that movie too.
Yeah, true that.
True that. And man, he's a bad guy here. Look at that. And he's not Billie Eilish's a bad guy. He's just bad, Anyways, with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And our next super chat goes to Cliff H. He puts in a $10 super chat. And thank you, Cliff, for the support. He says, Enforcer Matt, I realize that these silly pole puns put you in a tough spot. And you have to get the pronunciation correct on the fly. And please accept my apologies.
Oh, Kick him. Just kidding. That was
Clever, clever, I gotta say.
I'm not gonna lie. You make it look easy. Trapaholics.
Walk with your boys.
Walk with your boys.
But damn, son, where'd you find this?
Dude, tonight's been a great night. I'm not gonna lie. This has been an incredible night.
Tonight's been wild.
Tonight's been wild, man. Throughout the whole thing, and I feel like I've been laughing the whole entire time for like 3 hours now, and I'm really starting to feel it. But still,
yeah, it's 3 more days.
3 more
That's
days.
All. 3 more days.
3 more days, bled. It's just 3 more days. Oh, bled. It's okay.
3 more days, bled.
3 more days. 3 more days, and we'll win.
But anyways,
do I look like a real boy now, Papa?
Do I look like a real boy now, Papa?
Oh my god, man, those plosives are killing the speakers in my headphones.
man, I'd be popping like Harry Potter. Anyways, I think we're back now. I think everyone heard that too. But anyways, where were we?
I have no damn clue.
I don't.
Wait a minute, that's right. The Woj. Wait a minute, we were talking about the apologies. That's right.
Oh yeah, genius. I gotta admit, it was genius. And so with that, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for a great pun. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for helping this channel to keep on running.
All right, and up next we have a $10 super chat from Commander Prankster, who puts in some foreign characters. I'm not sure if it's language. But let me send it over to the enforcer and he may figure it out.
Soigu! Jednone Prabasna! Let's see what it is. Let's see.
Looks like something that Elon Musk would name one of his kids.
Elon Ma. But let's see.
Elon Ma.
I like the money. But I can't. It's Ukrainian, but I don't know what it means, sadly. So I thank you for the support. Sadly, I don't know what this means. But thank you nonetheless for helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again.
All right. And up next, we have a $10 super chat once again from Psyops. And Psyops says, please look up Lewis Lee Millett Sr., as well as the company he led. The company was primarily comprised of Puerto Rican heroes. At the time, they didn't receive the credit that they deserved due to racism.
Let's see. Lewis Lee Millett. Lewis Lee Millett, U.S. Army officer, received the Medal of Honor. It's only 3 more days.
Do I look like a real Russian now, Papa?
Oh, man. Dude, you gotta pop the peas, man. You gotta pop the peas. Look at this, though. That Russian LoJack. On God. All right, we're back. All right. Lewis Millett. Man. Dude, that mustache, though, I gotta say, man, he rocks a mustache. Even at old age. That's a pretty good mustache. Let's see here. He led the last U.S. bayonet charge.
3 more days.
3 more days. 3 more days. 3 more days.
I think we're back.
Hey, we're back. All right, so he led the last bayonet charge. And we're going through more lag. Oh, well, we're just going to keep it going. The bots can
I think we're good.
Let's see. Enforce the opposing soldiers to withdraw. Although wounded in the shin by grenade fragments, Millett refused to be evacuated until the position was secured. The historian described the attack as the most complete bayonet charge by American troops since the Battle of Cold Harbor in the U.S. Civil War. Of about 50 enemy dead, roughly 20 were found to have been killed by bayonets, which is about 40% of them. And the location subsequently became known as Bayonet Hill. Damn, man, that's hardcore. And usually, whenever bayonet charges happen historically, usually the enemy would run before they even got poked. These guys stuck there, and then they got poked, and then they lost position anyways. That's pretty wild, and this guy is one hell of a dude. That's pretty wild. I didn't even know this guy's story, and I thank you so much for sharing it with us, because that is one hell of an American soldier right there. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support and helping this channel to keep on running. And also, look at the place he was born at, the Mechanic Falls.
That's very specific. I don't know what they did there.
I wonder. I wonder what they did there.
The mechanics claiming a lot of workers' comp. Mechanic Falls.
Dude, OSHA does not like that town, man. Like, OSHA hates that town. They made so many safety regulations off of Mechanic Falls. But anyways, with that, thank you so much once again for support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And what a guy. That is one hell of a guy right there. Especially to be brave enough to lead a bayonet charge. That's something else. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep...
Lag alert.
Oh, whoa, Jack. Whoa. Whoa. Say the line. 3 more days. Just 3 more days, man. We'll win. Believe me, man. The Russians are strong. They're very strong. No one can stop them worldwide.
And we're back.
Man. 3 more days, I swear. So with that, we're on to the next one.
We got Luke saying in the live chat, 3 more days, Papa.
Do I look like a real Russian offensive now, Papa?
But with that,
no.
No, blad.
But with that, we're on to the next.
And the next one goes to Psyops yet again, and he puts in another $10 super chat, and this might be Psyops' wild one yet. And I think he's already telling me to do something different instead of reading it off. He says, I got another DM for you for the super chat that you can't read. And Psyops knew I couldn't read it, so let's go see what is here in the live chat, or actually my DMs. Let's see. Got a deal here. Let's see. Let's copy and paste this. Let's see. Copy. What
happened?
It's not copying. What happened?
What happened? My legs, they turned blonde in the sun, and I can't copy. What happened?
Copy link. Let's see. Going over to the enforcer.
Oh.
So it's actually a Twitter link to check out.
Peter, the Twitter's here.
Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what this one is. Let me go grab it. I gotta grab this. Oh, it is. It's that one. Let me go take it to the Twitter. Oh, say the line, everyone. Say the line.
3 more days, man. Just 3 more
3
days.
more days, Papa.
3 more days. Oh, man. I bet you we're back already, aren't we? Yep.
We are.
Yeah, they can kiss it. But anyways, to add a little bit of context to this video here that apparently the bots don't want us to show, this is the only T-34, I believe, that was used in that parade. This video has been circulated around a lot. It fell off the side of the truck it was being loaded on at the end of the day. So here's the clip. We can see the tank going up, and we can see the tank go over.
Oh, no!
Oh! Oh!
Oh, no.
And look,
that was their only one.
The Mobics. Oh God, the Mobics. Boom, 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 boom. I kiss it.
Oh.
You gotta bap it, twist it, kiss it. That's it. Kiss it. You're not stopping the stream, baby. You're not stopping it.
But man, nice. I love it. I love it. This is great. You know, it couldn't have topped it, like the symbolism here. It's the only tank in the parade. It falls off of the loading trailer. This is just sad. I think
I'm putting money on the Mobics didn't get out of the way in time because they don't have any sense.
I'm putting money the Mobic idiots didn't hear the tracks clacking off the side of the trailer and they just got rolled over. Like, look, they weren't moving right there.
They gave that thing way too much throttle going up that trailer.
Oh my God. And you see the cameraman panned away from the Mobics because you know the Mobics just got run over. They just got squished like some little Play-Doh men.
Look at that. They are powering up the trailer.
Dude, oh my God. They powered up so much, they just torqued its way off. Like, the torque was just so strong, it threw off its alignment to the trailer. Oh, look, you can see the little driver flail around in there for a minute. Did you see him? Watch. You'll see his little arm flail around. He's like, oh, please! Oh, wait a minute.
And the guy on the trailer's like freaking out. He doesn't know what to do.
Wait a minute. What is the driver doing with both of his hands holding onto the hatch? He's not even, he's just hanging on. Oh, bleed. Oh my God. I can watch this for days. His little hands just go.
This is freaking nuts.
Oh my God. I thank you so much for the support, Psyops, and sharing this with us. This was funny. I gotta say, this is a great one. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we addressed that fairly well. And we're on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Trister1, who puts in a $10 super chat, and he says, question from the chat. And Trister, thank you very much for that support, and we will grab a question from the chat. And it goes to, let's see here. It's going to go to Linda Vickers, who says, Enforcer, how much longer do you think it'll take for Ukraine to win the war?
Ooh, let's see. I don't want a crystal ball. I've always said that. I never want a crystal ball because it'll almost always be wrong. I would say maybe a year or two. And I know that seems like a long time, but in real war terms, it's not that long. World War I and World War II were longer than 4 years each. So I would say that, in my honest opinion, I think it could probably go on for another year. But we'll probably be watching a whole year of the Ukrainians just blasting the Russians like they have been. So with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for the support and allowing us to answer that live chat. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again.
All right. And also, real quick, I can't remember who said it. I was looking through here to see who said something about not letting Tony drive a tank because they might hit the nuke in the
that
parade.
Was Tony. Yeah, that was Tony.
Tony was there. I told you. They said, "Oh, Tony, would you like to drive this tank? We have a nuke." Like John Albrecht said, he said, "Where's Tony? He's driving the T-34."
Dude, Tony was absolutely schmacked out his mind on vodka in some bar near the Kremlin, and Putin walked into that bar and he said, "We need Russia's drunkest driver for this victory parade, bled." And Tony said, "Who, me?" And then they just tossed him the keys and said, "Get in." And then they went on to the parade. That's probably what happened. But anyways, with that, we're on to
Now flipped over. Should we provide Russia with a free app? My idea is Tank Tinder, where lonely tanks can find new friends. And what are your thoughts?
I would say we should. But there's not any left. There's none left. There would only be like one tank on the app. Like, it wouldn't even be worth it. But still, thank you for the support. Pretty cool idea, and I love the joke, by the way. And thank you so much once again for the support and for this channel to keep on running. And so with that, we are on to the next one. Oh, we got whoa!
3 more days, pal.
3 more days.
3 more days.
Блядь, 3 more days, done. We can win on 3 more days, done, блядь.
So with that, I think we're probably back already. We're on to the next.
And up next, we have a $10 super chat from TT, who says, AKA Texas T. Oh, they've rebranded and shortened their name. Oh, they said, keep kicking ass, Enforcer Brothers.
We're going to keep kicking that ass. It
sounded so literal.
Yeah, it sounded like a threat, honestly. It's like, hey, stop beating their ass. He said, we're going to keep kicking their ass. But anyways, we will make sure to keep doing it. And thank you so much once again, Texas T. And also, the rebranding is pretty neat. TT, that's like a pistol. And so with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on rolling.
All right, and up next, we have a $7 super chat from Eric of the Internet. He says, I've seen Santa Claus parades with more heavy equipment.
I have too. That's a sad thing. We all have. And so, thank you so much for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And I'd agree with you. And also, that was a great comparison, a great joke, by the way. I like that one. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again.
And up next, we have a $10...
Oh! 3 more days, blood. 3 more days, man. I wonder if this came from that Wojak website that we were at earlier. I wonder if it did. There's so many of them over there. Like, they just have them coming out of, like, a press nearly. But if y'all can't tell, my voice is shot, by the way. Dang. But 3 more days, split. But I have a feeling that this is a setup for a joke right here, and I'm waiting for the punchline. But if I had to answer it, I would say we have one and they don't. And so with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And everyone's saying this one's a long one, so I don't even know if we're back yet. Are we back, Matthew?
Yeah, well, I think we've been back for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think we've been back, Blade. And so with that, thank you so much once again for all the support. I hope that answers the fairly well, Blade. And with that, we're on to the next one. It says Shikabriki Blade.
Oh, and up next, we have a $5 super chat from Catfish Noodler, who says, the first super chat of tonight's epic stream is dedicated to our LSA brother, Pop Chop.
Is that it?
Hello?
Is that the
Yes.
it sounded like I don't know. It sounded like you were setting up for another sentence, but I got to thank you so much for the support.
Corn Pop.
And I got to thank you so much for supporting a member of the LSA. Pork Chop was a nice dude, and he ran a bunch of nice boys. He wasn't Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude who ran a bunch of bad running. So that, thank you, Pork Chop. And what? On to the next one. What happened?
All right, I think we're back.
Wait a minute. Did you hear the answer to that one?
Yeah, it sounded like garbled gibberish.
Oh, well, I thank you so much for the support, Pop Chop. And thank you so much once again for helping this channel to keep on running. And also, thank you for sending in the first super chat of the night as well. And with that, we're on to the next one. And thank you once again.
All right, and the next one goes to Jeff, who puts in a $5 super chat, and he says, "Great work, guys," and Slava Ukraini.
And thank you so much for enjoying our work. And of course, Slava Ukraini. And thank you for the support as well. That helps us to keep up this kind of work. And so with that, we're on to the next one. And Ukester asked, "What's up with all the lags? Russian bots have been DDoS attacking us all night long. Our internet connection isn't even phased. It is our connection to YouTube and streaming that is phased, and that is, in effect, a DDoS attack by all means." And with that, we're on to the next. Do you see that one, Mandy, the live chat that was just put in by Ron, TJ, T Jr., I think?
Yeah, I saw it.
He looked like Lil Ghoulie. But with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and also, let's see something here real quick. CME4PC said, "You just frequent buffer warned on our Roku." And I think, actually, if you're getting a buffer warning, that's actually on your system. So it could suggest that maybe YouTube's also having a problem as well. So that could be a little bit of a clue as to what's going on. But anyways, up next. Anyways, we're moving on to our next super chat, which goes to the entire family: Billy, Joe, Carl, Bob, Danny, and Frank, who puts in a $5 super chat. It says, "The war rages on in Ukraine, and something stinks in the state of Russia. Meanwhile, in the U.S., raise the debt, and in Soviet Russia, raise the power."
Raise the power. So I would like you to put that raise the power. You know, like how he slapped the clipboard out of his hands.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why I had to be so weird about that one, but still, thank you for the support to the whole family, and also everyone's saying hello to the whole family. We love to see the whole family here. Every single one of them: Billy, Joe, Carl, Bob, Danny, and Frank. And of course, we know it's not the whole family, but still, thank you so much once again for support. And that is a great comparison. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again. You know, Matthew, that summarizes America problems versus Russia problems. America problems is, how much more money are we going to spend? Russia problems is, where are we going to find any money to spend? That's like the two problems summarized. Is like, how do we spend money? How do they get money?
Facts.
Facts. Straight facts.
I can't tell if we're going through lag or you're like stopping the sentence anymore.
Yeah, I'm stopping sentences, man. I'm waiting for responses. But with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and up next we have a $5 super chat from Rocco, World Domination, who says, "Russians go to Jupiter to get more stupider, and the Elsa goes to Mars to get more candy bars." And I tell you what, you're on the way to becoming a writer and a rapper.
Man, I gotta tell you, man, he's spitting bars out of cars, shooting up. Wait, wait, I can't say that, but still.
Whoa!
Dude, my voice is gonna be so.
Call
him out. 3 more days, please. 3 more days. But anyways, I do thank you so much for the support, and I'd have to agree. LSA loves candy bars. What's your favorite kind of candy bar, by the way? Mine would be, if I had to pick a favorite candy bar, mine would be Kit Kats, probably. I like Kit Kats. What do you like, Matthew?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Snickers?
Oh, that's not a bad choice either. The Snickers is pretty good. What do y'all like down there? I wonder. And then
down there?
Yeah, down in the live chat.
Oh.
Let's see. And then Erase Martinez said, "Y'all hella troll." Yeah, look at
every California talking about hella.
Man, hella. Man, man, this Russian bot be crying hella. Next to that,
man, they be hella mad.
Man, they be hella angry. They be hella hungry. But anyways, a lot of people are Turkish Delight. Oh, you must be. I think that's a British thing, isn't it? Turkish Delight. Twix.
I think so.
Kit Kats, Milky Way. 3 Lageteers. That's a pretty good one. Mars, Bounty, Paydays. Oh, Paydays is good. Yeah, I like Paydays.
I love Payday.
Oh man, Payday is great. Let's see. Bounties. I don't know what a Bounties is. I've never heard of that. And then for you said the Enforcer sucks at rap. Hey, I made my name covering the news. I didn't make my name being a rapper. Let's see. Zero Bar. Let's see. Coffee Crisp.
Twix.
Prince Joey said Coffee Crisp Bitches. I've never heard of that one before. I've never heard of that candy bar before. But we'll take that one into consideration. Let's see, Cadbury. Oh, that's not a bad one. Honestly, I'm not seeing any bad ones. All of them are good. Honestly, I think all candy bars are good. But if I had to pick one, it'd be a Kit Kat. Like, you know, I'd like Kit Kats. Man, that's how the Ukrainians are treating the Russian forces at this point. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. That's it. Pops open another Russian tank, kills 3 men. But anyways, with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $5 super chat from Terrence Custer, who says, a pox and curse upon all Russian Nazi bots. And here's a fin for tacos.
Dang, man, he's pulling out those medieval like curses, a pox and plague unto you and your family. It's like, I like that though. But still, thank you so much for the support, and thank you for helping this channel to keep on running. And a pox and a plague unto the Russian bots. May they forever what happened? Rotten pus. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And I hope we addressed that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and also to circle back, because apparently I missed a super chat, and that's not surprising tonight because it has been absolutely hectic. We had one from Team Koji 10 who puts in a $10 super chat and says, Sturmeyer started watching this channel last spring, and I started in September, and would that make us infantrymen in the LSA, or did we get a title? And the last part there, it seems like he was angered that I missed a super chat, but I hope you understand it has been hectic tonight, and our sincere apologies.
And I do... me and my beautiful wife Camilla, we do give our most sincere apologies. It is of course dreadful. It is of course dreadful to know that we missed your super chat. We don't make it a habit of missing any, and I would have to be quite honest with you. You are actually a made man now. Yes, you're actually in the organization outfit, as we call it. It's a brilliant organization. We actually skim a little bit off the top. Oh man, we're just getting hammered.
But anyways, getting back to that one, I do offer my most sincere. I have to say this is scandalous. Oh dear. I don't like this much at all. 3 more days, Blade. I see so many people saying that. It's a dreadful thing. 3 more days. 3 more days of what? 3 more days of sucking? I don't know. It's a good question. And for you, I said, no insult, I was just joking. Your singing is always great. What really sucks is the Russian DDoS. Oh, no, I was just kidding with you as well. I'm sorry if that came off seriously. I was making a joke, you know. No hard feelings whatsoever. And also for you, mate, you've always been around forever, and I quite enjoy your company. But getting back to the super chat, I do thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel keep on running. And, of course, I heard Moses Zero say, I can hardly hear Posh Enforcer. And is that your comment? Is that your comment? But moving on from that, I'd, of course, have to say, I thank you so much once again for helping this channel to keep on running. And I would also have to say, you would be an infantryman. You would just be an LSA. Or you could be an LSN or an LSAF. It could be whatever you wish. Or LSMC, for that matter. Whatever suits your fancy. And so with that... thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And with that being said, we have a $5 super chat from DSY Star, who does not leave a comment, but thank you very much for the support. And we also have a 5 from CK Bold, who says, take a live chat question.
And I thank you so much to all of you for the support, and to CK Bold, who suggested we address a live chat question. And I would have to say I'd love a lamprey pie right about now, but we'll make sure to get that live chat. And so, with that, what do we have, Matthew?
And the live chat question goes to S. Blanchard, who says, how does Ukraine stop caliber missiles in the future years after occupiers are repelled, and won't Russia keep attacking forever, and is a treaty needed to stop?
Matthew, you read those questions terribly, quite terribly. Oh dear. I'm going to have to get a new butler to read them. Oh dear.
You know how he acts, Matthew.
I spite you, sir.
Really? Well, I'm the king. Kiss it. Kiss the ring, Pappy. Kiss the ring.
But anyways, Pappy.
I'm sorry. We turn into
that's a different culture, I think.
We turn into Italian mobsters up in here from Sicily. Kiss the ring or whatever.
But anyways, getting to answering
Whatever.
Whatever, you know, it could be whatever. Catfish Avenger said a gentleman's gentleman, and I find you quite incredulous, really.
But it's getting to answer the question. I think the war can't last forever, because one thing that Bakhmut's showing is that they're on the end. It's a death knell for them. If they can't win there, they can't win anywhere. And so I would say that it can't end for much. It can't go on for much longer. They don't have an unlimited supply of vehicles either. And so with that, I hope that answers that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for sponsoring that live chat, CK Bold. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $5 super chat from CanB7X, who says, someone give the Russian bots their participation trophy. Thanks for coming out.
And yes, we could give them the precipitation the precipitation trophy. What am I talking
They
about?
get a free Wojak. They get a free Wojak.
You're afraid to scrutinize me? Are you not going to scrutinize me? You great supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies?
I don't even know why I did that, but anyways, to answer that question, I would say yes, they should get one. And we're giving it to them right now by all the charred out tanks they have. Those are the trophies. And so with that, I hope that answers that question fairly well. Thank you once again for the support. And with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. In our next one, let's see here. Just making sure I haven't missed any. It looks like our next one goes to Harvey Dent, who puts in a $5 super chat and says, wasn't that a Bradley? And I believe it was.
And it was. And I'm glad that so many people pointed that out, because if y'all hadn't, I would have never noticed it was actually a Bradley. The first one we have ever seen at the front, too. And so with that, thank you so much for the support. And thank you for pointing that out earlier, because I think that may have been what kicked off Matthew to say it may have been a Bradley. But with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we addressed that fairly well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Carlo Matola, who puts in a 5 and says, Ukrainian farmers have more Russian tanks than Putin. And how is the devil spinning the miserable parade?
The devil is spinning the dreadful parade. I've seen better parades elsewhere. Hell, I would say that any parade is better. I would say that, let me think of a good parade. I would say the Lamprey parade was better than that one. But I would have to tell you, quite honestly, it was a dreadful parade. They're trying to spin it as the West trying to kill them. And honestly, at this point, I think we may. But you know, if you piss us off, you know, you get the short end of the stick, ting. But moving on from that, I would have to honestly tell you that, yes, it sucked. It was quite terrible. And I don't really think there's a way for them to spin it. It was really spun as a security thing. But that makes no sense. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address that fairly well. And with that, we're on to the next one. While me and my beautiful wife, Camilla, go to the coronation. And so with that, on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $5 super chat from Kella Hella, who says, Enforcer, what do you think about Zelenskyy meeting with the BlackRock CEO in Ukraine?
Oh, business dealings, really. And I'm sure that they'll be getting plenty of business from the BlackRock company, because if they're there, they see some kind of a business potential. And that will mean a lot for the Ukrainians, because there'll be jobs and there'll also be income. So with that, I hope that does address that further well. Thank you so much once again for support. I hope that did address that pretty well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And the next one is a $5 super chat from AMX10, Speedy Bang Bang, who says, Putin mentioned the protection of the Donbass, and he made no mention of Zaporizhia or Crimea, and that was smart by Putin, and should just remove his troops now.
I would say yes. I think he should remove his troops from all of Ukraine, really. And I think that's really stupid, because, you see, they started the war for Crimea, and then he's going to give guaranteed protections to the Donbass. That's just really stupid in my opinion, on my end. But with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. Thank you so much once again for the support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Justin Kisowski, who puts in a $5 super chat and says, always starting hours behind the live stream, but sick new intro.
And I thank you so much for the support. And I have to say, it was a sick new intro as well. Today's a special day, though. And the news song in the beginning may actually stay. It may actually replace the one we've had there for a long time, because I love that song. It's very high-stepping, high energy. It's also a traditional Ukrainian one as well. And moving on from that part, we brought back the original anthem. And some of y'all may have actually noticed that tonight. Many of y'all have been asking for that anthem to return. And we haven't been able to do that for a reason, specific reason. But it appears that
reason has now been overcome, and we are able to bring it back. At least from what we've seen. We'll have to wait and see if anything happens to tonight's stream, and if something does, then we'll have to go back to the old anthem, which was made by Vanilla RPG Soundtracks. And it's an amazing anthem. It's an incredible one, and I have to say it was a great tribute to the Lee Spring Army. But the original one, it's an amazing one, and I have to say it's great. And so, thank you so much once again for support and enjoying the sick new intro, because I also thought it was sick as well. And so with that, thank you once again. Hope we addressed that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And the next one goes to White Lightning 777, who puts in a $5 super chat, and it says, "Is that Bradley firing depleted uranium ammo or the normal stuff in Slava Ukraini?"
And Slava Ukraini. And most likely normal stuff, because using depleted uranium on infantry would be overkill. Is it gets like 100, well, we're guessing it gets like 120 millimeters of penetration. It may even get up to 200, 300. So it'd be too much for infantry. They're probably using some kind of a high explosive round, because that would be more effective against them. And so with that, I hope that does address that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again for the support.
All right, and our next one goes to the entire family once again. Billy, Joe, Carl, Bob, Danny, and Frank, and they put in a 5 this time, and says, "Oh, you have to show this one. Even if you did on last year's 9th of May, Russian Military Parade 2022 parody by Totoro. Search on YouTube."
Let's see, Russian Military Parade parody? Oh, let's see here if we can find it. Let's see here. By that one. I can't find it, actually. I typed it in the exact way you put it, and sadly, I can't see it. So, unfortunately, I hate to say it, the whole family, I won't be able to show that one. But thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one. But thank you so much once again for supporting this channel.
Yes, indeed. And up next, big shout out to Laura A for putting in a $5 super chat with no comment, and also a $2 super chat from Speaker Doctor. Sadly, no comment on that one either. But thank you, Speaker Doctor, and also Laura A for the support very much and helping to keep the channel running. And up next, we have a $3 super chat from Mr. E-Man, who says a petty chat to make the Russian bots jealous.
Sad little people. They don't stop, do they? I love it. I love to see it. You know, because you know, not many people are honored on YouTube with being DDoS attacked by bots like this. You know, I have a feeling it has to be because of the Lee Spring Army. It's a special thing. Can you hear me, Matthew? Oh dear, he can't hear me. That's dreadful.
Damn Ruskies.
Yeah, you came back right when you said "damn Ruskies." Anyways, where were we at?
We were on Mr. E-Man's super chat, who said, "A petty chat to make the Russian bots jealous."
And thank you for the support of the petty chat, because you see, you made them that jealous that they DDoSed us again, and then we came right back. They can kiss it, really. I mean, they can kiss it. They can do whatever they want. They're not going to get us off air. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we addressed that fairly well. And we're on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Dark Warrior 137, who puts an H. The damn Ruskies part wasn't supposed to be heard on the stream. I thought I was saying that during the lag, but we have a $2 super chat from Dark Warrior 137, who says, "Imagine a drone came and dropped one on the tank."
On the tank, yeah, that would be.
I guess they do have one tank, so it would be the tank.
The single tank. Oh my god!
Damn Ruskies.
Damn Ruski, where'd you find this? Oh,
looks like when people spell out "damn Ruskies," it looks like they're saying like the husky dog.
Yeah.
Damn Ruskies.
Damn husky. Climbing out of the fence again. Pissing me off, getting bitten by snakes, killing raccoons, damn husky. I think we're back.
I want the Russian bots to come back and call us the American Rooster again.
I want them to come back and call us the Amerifatty. Oh man,
yes,
it's so stupid, man. Like, we're going to get offended by that. At least we have a problem with obesity. They have a problem with eating, like finding anything to eat. Anyways, with that, we're on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Mama Mentality. Once again, he puts in a $2 super chat and says the smog parade is all ici. Breathe all the smog, boys.
And we will. So with that, thank you so much for the support and allowing us to breathe in the smog. Breathe in, breathe out. It's the smell of failure and defeat of the Russian army. And so with that, we're on to the next one. And thank you once again for helping this channel to keep on running.
All right, and up next, big shout out to Midget Hobbit, who puts in a $2 super chat, and thank you very much for the support, Midget Hobbit. We also have a $2 super chat from Americano Ranger, who puts in a 2, which I already said, but I repeated it again for some reason. He says, I have been here since day 4, and I'm a captain of the LSA.
And you go, Captain. And thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running and being a part of the old guard. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we addressed that fairly well, and we are on to the next one.
And the Mamba mentality returns yet again with another $2 super chat and says the U.S. should ask for the collection of hypersonic debris.
Oh, let's see here. Damn Ruskies. All right, we're back. All right, so with that, I think
we're finally back.
Yeah, I think we're finally back. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
And up next, we have another super chat from the entire family once again. Billy, Joe, Carl, Bob, Danny, and Frank. And they said, no, you have to find it. Just search the title, and it should be the first result. It is really good and only 25 seconds long.
And I did the whole family. I typed in the title exactly the way it was in the live chat, and it didn't show up. So I do thank you for the support. I will try and find it after the stream if I can. But sadly, I couldn't find it, and also it's starting to go almost overtime. So we want to make sure to get to everyone in as many live chats as we can. But still, thank you so much once again for support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we have a $2 super chat from Catfish Avenger, which is, I guess, akin to the Catfish Noodler. But they put in a $2 super chat and says, check comments on daily news video Pop Chop is LSA. I guess they changed their name. That's the exact same that the Noodler said.
Yeah, I think you're going to try and check that out. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you once again for the support. And we flatline. Exhibit.
Man, that's a copyright.
Oh yeah, it is. I forgot. I thought we were lacking. I thought only you and me could hear each other.
Oh, Catfish Avenger and Catfish Noodle. That's Fuchsia Cone.
Really?
Yeah, they're confusing me. They're changing their names so much.
Man, I thought. Wait a minute. He changed from Amara Fatty?
Yeah, he changed from Fuchsia Cone to Amara Fatty, then to Catfish Noodler, and then to Catfish Avenger.
Man, he be avenging them catfish. But with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $2 super chat from Raphael Harris, who says, long live the LSA, and serenity now, serenity now.
And thank you so much for the support. Long live the LSA, and serenity now, serenity now. And so, thank you once again. I hope we just that fairly well. And we're on to the next one.
All right, and we're moving into our live chat questions. And up first, we have the Morse code decoders of the stream. We have JP's Gone Fishing, Rumpelstiltskin, C. Fay, Mark Hodges, Cliff Simonson, Dark Warrior 137, Paul Schultz, Earl Bernew, and I think also Slava something, who said Morse code says, Victory Day to the 3rd Brigade, Terra, the 93rd, and all the other in Bakhmut, and Slava Ukraini.
That's the sound of money, and y'all got that correct. Y'all actually got that right on the nail. And I got to say a happy Victory Day to all of the Ukrainian units who were involved in that counteroffensive in the Bakhmut area. It has been met with incredible success and is causing panic throughout Russian forces and panic to the forces that met them in the field. Blow for blow, they traded until the Russians ran clean off the line and the Ukrainians took the ground. It was a sweep. And so with that, thank y'all for deciphering that Morse code message. I hope I addressed that fairly well. And we are now on into our first live chat question. But sadly, due to lag delays and also the amount of super chats we had, we will only be able to get to a limited number of live chats tonight. And so we'll probably only be able to address 5 of them. And so with that, we are on to the first one.
And the first one goes to Damien Ballou, who says, talk about the long-range missiles that the UK is going to give to Ukraine.
So I believe those missiles are called Storm Shadow missiles. Storm Shadow missile. And these are British missiles that are equipped onto aircraft that are dropped off, and then they cruise for about 300 miles or so. And they're able to penetrate far behind enemy lines, and they also have a pretty decent amount of explosive mass. So really, what's nice about them is the range. It would be the longest range weapon provided to the Ukrainians so far in the war, and that's why it's kind of become a bit of a big deal. And so with that, I hope that does address that comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And the next one goes to Lee E., who says, will there be a repeat of the 90s famine in Russia?
90s famine, it may be. We saw that there was near famine at the start of the war when supply lines in Russia fell apart, but we haven't seen a true one yet. But it may be that after the economic collapse the Russians face at the end of this war, they may actually they may actually go into a famine. It's not really anything to laugh about, but when you think about it, it kind of is what they get. So with that, I hope that does address that fairly well, and we are on to the third to last question of the night.
And this one goes to Essel, who says, what do you think is being sent to Ukraine in the latest aid package that Zelenskyy couldn't mention in his speech tonight?
We know it's M777 ammunition, largely a lot of ammunitions and maybe a couple of additional equipment items, vehicles and things like that, but they didn't really say that. So with that, I hope that addresses that question at least the best we can. And with that, we are on to the second to last question of the night.
And that one goes to Kyle Witt, who says, what are the chances that Wagner and Prigozhin surrender to the Ukraine, and considering retreat is not an answer?
I would say the chances, if they couldn't retreat, which they can't really, without getting into trouble, the chances of it are actually a little low because the Ukrainians are going to continue to beat the Wagner down, and the chances are if the Wagner tries to surrender, the Russian forces around them will probably maul them before they really can. So the chances of that are a little low, actually, on a unit-wide scale. And so with that, I hope that answers that question fairly well. And are we on to the final question of the night, Matthew?
We are.
And
start the thing.
And so we are on to the final question of the night. And so who is the lucky last person who threw in the lucky last question of the night?
And that person is Thinkman, who says, I read that there is a Patriot variant that goes Mach 4+. How fast are the hypersonic missiles in comparison?
The hypersonic missiles go about, I think, Mach 7 or so. Hypersonic missile speed. Well, that doesn't tell me the Mach. Come on. Between 5 and 25 times the speed of sound. Let's see. We want to know about the Kinzhal. Kinzhal missile speed. So, hypothetically, this thing can go Mach 10. But some people say it can go up to Mach 13. I would really go with the lower number of Mach 10. So it could go about Mach 10. PAC-2 missile from the Patriot system, I believe, can go about Mach 4, Mach 5. So to answer that question, it can't go as fast. It goes about 40% as fast as a Kinzhal at its slowest. But the thing is, it doesn't have to go that fast necessarily. It just has to be able to intercept its flight path and hit it. And apparently it was able to do that at least once, or at least with a Patriot in range. And so, with that, I hope that answers that question fairly well, and we have reached the end of tonight's stream. And it's been a night of glory. We've been able to thwart multiple DDoS attacks. We've been able to cover the news on the Victory Day. We've been able to cover the news of the Ukrainians conducting a sweep on the field and wiping away Russian forces in the 72nd Brigade and the Wagner unit. It's been an amazing day, and I've got to thank every single one of y'all so much for being here with us the entire time and watching this news unfold. If y'all did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because we run this stream 6 days a week. We don't always have days of glory like this, but if you stick around, you'll certainly be here for the euphoria of another day like this, because they're only coming sooner and sooner as this war keeps on going. And so thank you all so much once again for watching tonight. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time to cover the next 24 hours of the news of the war in Ukraine. Good night. And also, by the way, I know that so many of y'all enjoy the anthem that we play at the beginning of the stream, our original one. I'm actually going to go and mess with our intro here when we end this thing so that way you all can actually hear that anthem on the way out, because it's amazing. And so, with that, thank you all so much once again. I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night, good luck, stay safe, take care, and of course, Slava Ukraini, and long live the Lee Spring Army.
And 3 more days, Papa. Slava Ukraine.
Предлагаю сложить оружие и сдаться. Русский военный корабль, иди нахуй.